It's Wilde Tausch, isn't it?
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
An important addition. We're going to talk about one of the most powerful films, extremely well done, also really upsetting. A Road at Night, which tells the story of Howard Moore, who was a classmate of mine who I covered. It is incredibly powerful. And Stan Van Gundy, who is fantastic in the film, is scheduled to appear. Edition. The less important things like the Pro Bowl to discuss. Edition. What are we now? 48 hours away ish from the trade deadline in the NBA. What does that mean for Giannis and the Bucks? Edition. And I'm sorry, Mr. Kraft. Now you know how Mike Holmgren felt last year when he should have gotten in to the Hall of Fame and didn't. Edition of Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and of course everything you need on the phenomenal. You got a webinar today? ESPN Wisconsin app. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson is in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios. And once again, unless he's frozen.
Yeah, it looks like a frozen camera.
Okay, because I was going to say, he is.
Yeah.
Tausch looks, I've never seen it. It's like when you go to a haunted house and then suddenly the guy goes, bah! That's how he looks. I'm waiting for him to go, bah! But he's not going to. From his undisclosed location, he is the Packers Hall of Famer. He's Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How you doing?
Frustrated. I'm frustrated. I got this camera, I got a laptop, and I don't know why. I did my hit with Vinny and Eric, and it was kind of screwed up this morning, so then I thought I fixed said camera, and it's not, so I'm frustrated. So I might be off video today until I can get this fixed.
Okay.
So
we will be understanding and we will not poke the bear. If I may ask one brief follow-up, is your IT staff on call today or is she elsewhere?
Well, there was IT staff earlier and we thought we had it fixed, and then when I booted it up, it just came back to this, and I don't like this. I don't like this at all, so I will be AWOL for most of the day.
Okay, well, we'll get it figured out. We're going to get ready to talk to Stan Van Gundy, who I'm sure is having no video issues whatsoever getting connected to us for our conversation with him, because that's what happens when we try to do this sort of stuff. But we're excited to have him, excited to talk about an important film, which we've talked about previously when it first was released, and now it is going to be hitting theaters, that we want to talk about that. But look, I, as much as I would like to talk the excitement of the Pro Bowl, I don't want to talk about that. Sorry, Jesse. I read the rundown. So now Bill Belichick didn't get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and now there's another leak that Mr. Kraft, Bob Kraft, is not getting into the Hall either. And I know our good buddy Dan Graziano went off a little bit this morning on, I don't know if it was on Get Up or on Unsportsmanlike, but he was fired up. Tausch, as someone who wants to defend my colleagues whenever I have the opportunity to do so, this is one messed up system, and it appears that now, even though it was messed up last year, when Mike Holmgren fell 2 votes shy of getting into the Hall of Fame, nobody made a big deal. But now that the Patriots are involved, now we got to fix it. Would have liked to have heard this outcry last year. What do you make of the latest Pro Football Hall of Fame controversy?
I don't know if it's controversial. I mean, Belichick not getting in was, I think, travesty's probably strong. But, yeah, I mean, the Patriots won 6 championships under Bob Kraft. So that's the difference. And if Mike Holmgren had won the Super Bowl against Denver that you proclaimed, I don't know how they can lose this game, he'd be in the Hall of Fame. And Leroy Butler would have been in the Hall of Fame a lot earlier. That just shows you how critical these legacy games are. And when you don't get other opportunities, the fact that New England has had as many championships and kind of reset the bar, that changes that math. And that's why people are more up in arms, because sports is supposed to be about the accomplishments, not about a potential and anything else when you're talking about Hall of Fames. So the Mike Holmgren piece, whether he would have won in Seattle, that would have put him over the top. I do believe he deserves to be in. But as far as like this national outrage, yeah, it's not going to happen, because there's other coaches that have 2 championships that aren't in. But in this case, I'm kind of over it, actually, this whole deal. And as far as the veterans, I just look at it, and it shouldn't be, can only let 4 people in this year. I think it should be a very difficult get-in. And I also am all right with, if you tier it, put Jesse Nelson in charge and let him tier Hall of Famers. First ballot should be a unique, like special, that is someone that's a no-brainer. And then there should be others that it takes a little bit more time, and they're in there. So I actually am on board with let's start talking about tiering it. And by the way, Belichick would be a Tier 1 Hall of Famer. There should be a very small amount of Tier 1 Hall of Fame players/coaches. And when they don't get in, there's outrage. And will there be some changes? Yes. But we shouldn't be looking at it. And I thought, I don't know if it was Greenier who said on Get Up this morning, it shouldn't come down to, well, I either have to pick Ken Anderson, who's a quarterback that had a nice career, or Bill Belichick. Like, that's not how this whole process should work. You either are or you're not a Hall of Famer. And I think once they figure that piece of it out, I think everybody will probably be a lot happier.
So you're suggesting what? Because I agree that when we're talking about the Patriots' accomplishments, they're greater than Mike Holmgren's. I totally get that. But I thought last year him not getting in was a pretty clear indication of the new process is flawed. And again, they took the contributor, the coach, the seniors committee members, and they threw them all into the same pot. And out of the 5 people, you could vote for 3. And in order to get selected out of there, you had to get 80%, which is 40 out of 50. I believe Holmgren got 38. So it was a 38-12 vote for Mike Holmgren to get in the Hall of Fame. I feel like that should be sufficient for him to get in the Hall of Fame when that significant of a majority of people voted for him. Sounds like Belichick was in a similar number. I'm just saying the way they chose to change the rules after they got Paul Tagliabue in and Jerry Jones in, et cetera, I just feel like they created this problem themselves by changing the system, and now they're dealing with the blowback because it bit them on a franchise like the Patriots, whereas there wasn't this over Holmgren last year. Only people were saying that were people in Green Bay and people in Seattle. Hey, this system is flawed. So are these two more deserving? Of course they are. Wouldn't argue otherwise. But to me, this is a problem that actually existed last year, and just people are waking up to it with the Patriots. I do feel bad because Mr. Kraft gets so much respect. Everybody refers to him as Mr. Kraft. They're not going to refer to him as Mr. Pro Football Hall of Famer.
Not as a Hoffer,
at least for another year.
Yeah, he'll get there. He'll get there. And the thing that sucks, and I see this a lot with, you want to be able to let guys, gals in when they can celebrate.
Yes.
Bob Kraft's 84 years old.
Yes.
Mike Holmgren's not getting younger.
No.
That I think is the part that gets kind of lost in some of that. But again, man, I think that process, I think you should only be in there 2 years as a voter, and they should cycle through. And I'm all right with former Hall of Fame people voting. You just can't vote for your own. Anyone that's associated with the team that you're associated with, you can't vote for. You have to abstain. I think that might be a good way to go about this.
Last thing on this, because I do want to get to Giannis before we get to Stan. Jesse is well known, as you mentioned, for his tiering of his friends. So how would you go about you're a solutions guy. And I don't know, maybe we need Jesse's help with this since he's the tiering expert. But, how would you go about changing it?
It's simple. You have your first floor. You make this a 3 or 4 leveled Hall of Fame. Your first floor are for the autos. They're on the first floor. They get a little bit more of a display. That's where I think everybody, when they initially walk in the Hall of Fame, it's your first ballot lock stockers. That's the first floor. Then it goes year 2 to 5. You get on the second floor. And then the third floor is everybody else. I think that's how you go about doing this. And everybody does this. Everybody has lists. I think everybody will still be excited that they are an NFL Hall of Famer. But is Deion Sanders in the same boat as some of these other guys? Deion Sanders is one of the all-time greats. Mm-hmm. He is actually the one that kind of surmised this. So if that's going to be the case, I think this could be a way, and then it really forces your hand as a voter to say, is this guy a first ballot? Because they already do it, and that's why Belichick's not getting in, because Bill Polian thought he needed to be punished. Why we leave that up to an 87-year-old dude that's got a ton of
axe to grind.
Grinding axes. I don't know. That's a question you'd have to ask the Hall of Fame. But let's just tear it off. Boom, 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 and in that way you're still celebrating guys' great careers, but you're also celebrating the goatiest on that first floor, which I think is. I think it would be a fun little thing for fans and for, debaters and for media folks to have those comments, because that is something the NFL obviously enjoys and wants as a conversation piece when it comes to the Hall of Fame.
We will shift gears because I do want to get to Stan on time, as Stan Van Gundy is scheduled to appear. So we will talk a little bit about the latest developments on the Giannis front. And then we will discuss A Road at Night, which you and I believe, have both seen, and it is powerful. Poignant is the word my buddy Andrew Banstra used on Channel 3 the other day, and that's exactly the right word. I wish I would have thought of it. I have all kinds of words when it comes to Gina Della and Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and so do you.
Indeed, our homes need to be ready for just about anything in Wisconsin. If you don't know, just check out the month of January. It was warm, it was freezing, it was everything. That's why Pella focuses on quality and durability in everything that they do. And special time of the year, it's that February NARI Spring Home Improvement Show. Feb 13th through the 15th at Wisconsin State Park. I'll tell you, I have not gotten the booth number yet, but I don't even think you're going to need it because you'll see Pella everywhere down at the Nari Spring Home Improvement Show. And when you're there, book an in-home consultation at the show, and you're going to receive a free Design Works rendering, which gives you everything you're looking for. You can tinker with it. You can figure it out. That is an awesome operation. Again, head on down to the Nari Spring Home Improvement Show, February 13th to the 15th, to see Pella. Don't miss out on this great 0% financing for up to 4 years. It ends on the 28th of February. Visit PellaWI.com to learn more.
More Wilde Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
This is Wilde Tausch.
Wilde Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off-season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Tired of waking up exhausted? That dad bod weighing you down? Let's get you back to the old you. If your energy, focus, and drive aren't what they used to be, your hormones could be out of balance. At Mentality, we'll dig into what's really going on. Then build a personalized, science-backed plan using hormone therapy and peptide treatments to get your brain and your body back on track. So stop telling yourself you're just getting older. Book your appointment now at lowtusa.com. Right now, all new patient labs are covered in your treatment plan. That's a savings of $250. Go to lowtusa.com.
It's time for the Marquette Minute on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Matrix Basements.
Despite holding an 8-point lead at the half, Marquette could not hold off a comeback from Big East foe Seton Hall as they fell 69-64. The loss brings the Golden Eagles to an 8-14 overall record and 3-9 in Big East play. Sophomore Royce Parham was sensational as he had 17 points, 6 rebounds, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. Freshman Nigel James Jr. also chipped in 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. Here's head coach Shaka Smart after the loss.
It was choppy. I mean, it was a physical game. Just too many turnovers against a team like Seton Hall. They make you pay, and we turned the ball over 16 times. Not good enough.
The Golden Eagles will get a week to rest before returning home to take on Butler for National Marquette Day on Saturday.
Brought to you by Matrix Basements. Visit gomarquette.com/matrix to enter to win 4 tickets to National Marquette Day Saturday, February 7th when Marquette hosts Butler.
Hey, this is Jason Wilde from Wilde Tausch. Valentine's Day is almost here, and Racine Danish Kringles has you covered with their heart-shaped Kringle. You know my family loves Kringle from Racine Danish Kringles, and sometimes they share it with me. Racine Danish Kringles offers a heart-shaped Kringle with pink icing in raspberry, chocolate silk cherry, and pecan flavors to send to your loved one. Order at Kringle.com or call 800-4DANISH. Racine Danish Kringles, the official pastry of ESPN Wisconsin. It's not just a treat, it's a tradition.
Come grow with us at Glenroy. For more than 6 decades, our family-owned company has built its reputation on quality, reliability, and providing strong career opportunities in our community. As the packaging industry rapidly grows, so does Glenroy. Here, you'll find competitive wages, a clean, modern workspace, fully vested 401k, yearly bonus award, and the chance to build a manufacturing career with purpose. Apply today at glenroy.com/careers. That's GLENROY.com/careers.
People say buying a home in winter is tough.
But fewer buyers means less competition, and motivated sellers can mean better opportunities.
This is Tony Wendorf with Tony Wendorf & Associates, powered by Keller Williams.
And I'm Lindsay Bendler. When the perfect home appears, our team at Tony Wendorf & Associates helps you move fast, even during the snow.
Start your home journey today with our white glove service by simply searching online, Tony Wendorf.
A real estate team that always leads with faith and gratitude.
Tony Wendorf & Associates.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. Well, you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
So I was listening during the commercial break on ESPN Madison, and I heard big voice guy say, Giannis watch. So what have we had? Favre watch was pre-Wilde Tausch programming. You were playing. I was covering it. We had Rodgers watch. We had Watt watch. That was fun. Turned out he really did want to play here, and Goody had no interest in that. Have we had any other watches? Tornado watches. We've had that. We've had the horn go off at practice. I don't know if we've had any other watches, but we've got Giannis watch.
Love contract watch was on for a little bit last year.
Extension
LaFleur
watch?
Getting fired watch or whatever it was, even though that was never really in play. Yeah, I don't think there's been many other.
Not a lot of watches, but we've got a watch now, right? This is a watch. This qualifies.
Yeah, I would say until Thursday afternoon, but I think most of us will be surprised if something happens before that.
Jesse,
We're not going to get the best deal. We're not going to get the best deal until after. I think you have to get more teams involved, or you're going to end up taking this Golden State deal, which I'm not on board with. I don't like it. The Miami Heat deal looks like it could be sort of interesting because you're getting Tyler Hero. But let's be honest, Tyler Hero's not going to fill the seats up. He's not going to fill Fiserv up, and I don't know how excited you're going to be about the one dude that got busted for allegedly gambling and stuff. He's part of that deal, and then 3 or 4 picks. But, again, you dump in Giannis to a team, you're expecting that team to be really good, and your draft pick's going to be really bad.
Correct.
So I don't know what you're gaining by that.
Jesse, what is the latest coming from the national media and specifically Shams?
I was able to attend the meeting yesterday where all of us that represent ESPN are able to push the Giannis trade narrative. Because I know that's I
heard somebody said this. They'll remain nameless. But I hear that really irritated you.
So yeah, I was able to attend the meeting. So Shams got us all on board with here's how. Okay, guys, 48 hours to push it forward here. This is what we're gonna do. Yeah,
was it on Teams?
Big. Oh yeah, everybody at every ESPN station everywhere in the country was on it. It was part of it. Yeah, it was a very big deal. So here's what Shams had to say when he was on SportsCenter yesterday. Our fearless leader.
Not during your meeting.
Who helps propel the narrative of Giannis getting traded. Yes.
Were you really on a meeting with Shams yesterday?
No.
Why'd you say you were?
Because the concept that... Understandably, I think some people are frustrated that over the last 4 or 5 years, there have been Giannis national talks of, can we get him to New York or Chicago, or is there another team?
The narrative has been there, and it has been pushed by ESPN personalities. I don't know why, and I would say the first 2 or 3 years of it was complete bunk. This last 6 to 12 months, probably there's a lot of legitimacy to it. So it's like the old the old adage, the boy that cried wolf. You continue to say this and over and over and over. Eventually, a wolf's going to come eat you because you don't know that the wolf is not real. The wolf, the big bad wolf. Yeah. Eventually, that wolf comes up there and starts. I think we're at wolf stage. Like the wolf is going to eat us.
Yeah.
It's just a question of whether it's by Thursday or not.
Well, here's the Wolf, Sham Charania. He was on SportsCenter.
He's not the Wolf. He's like the guy who wrote the story of the Wolf. Is that Hans Christian Andersen?
No, I would say ESPN and the national narrative is the Wolf. Or is that the boy that's crying wolf?
No,
right. See, this is what I mean.
Right. Shams would be the boy crying wolf.
Indeed.
So who's the wolf? Who is the actual wolf?
I don't know. They're hungry like the
Giannis
wolf.
trade would be the wolf.
So Golden State or Chicago or New York or Miami could be the wolf in this case.
I think they're the three bears.
I don't actually know what isn't that a different story?
Yes, it is.
Like, I don't know what the story is.
It was a joke.
I don't know what the story is of the boy
Jesse,
who cried
so
wolf.
everybody was sitting around, and this guy kept saying, "Oh, there's a wolf coming. There's a wolf coming." And after like the third time, it was like, "This dude he's a wolf. He's a wolf soothsayer. He's just saying it, and eventually he's going to be right." But after a while, it becomes white noise. So everybody just thought, you know what? Blanket. We ain't worried about no wolf. And then next thing you know, wolf comes into town and just goes to town.
And then he couldn't keep his thumb in the dike, and then the whole river flowed into the city, too.
That's a different one.
I'm aware. Can we just hear Sham so we can get out of this conversation?
So here's the narrator, Sham Charania.
The Milwaukee Bucks are listening. They're engaged with seriously interested teams in Giannis. And over the weekend and this week, they are making counter offers to teams that are making aggressive pursuits of Giannis. And that includes the Miami Heat, the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Golden State Warriors, the New York Knicks, among them. And listen, I reported last week, Giannis Antetokounmpo is ready to be moved by the Milwaukee Bucks, whether it's at the NBA trade deadline or in the offseason. But the big question right now is, will there be a team that meets the Bucks' price threshold that they've set out, which is a young blue-chip talent and or a surplus of draft picks? They've been very clear with teams, we're fine waiting for the offseason if you guys can't meet this price. But then again, there's the risk-reward. If you wait till the summer, Giannis will essentially be on an expiring deal, which gives him a little bit more leverage, a little bit more ability to dictate his future. He is the biggest domino, the number one, number two, and third biggest domino in the NBA right now. He has a lot of impact on what not only those four teams I mentioned, but then a layer of other teams after that.
There you go.
Yep. And then we had a meeting, and then he told everybody, here's the narrative we want to push, and we all understood. We're on the same page for the next 48 hours.
I don't understand why this bothers you. You're taking this personally. Like, get over it.
He's like Jordan in the.
Yeah, why are you taking this personally?
I think it's preparing Bucks fans for, like, if you're saying this is a made-up thing, then you're basically lying to Wisconsin sports
this part's
fans.
made up. It was 3 or 4 years ago it was made up.
I know what Jesse was referring to. Again, I'm not going to give free advertising to other people. But, yes, the claim that some are making is that this is completely conjured up, and Giannis ain't going anywhere. And I think
this stuff recently
you're
is
ostriching. No, I think they're still clinging to that. But again, believe what you want to believe. I believe it's time to talk to Stan Van Gundy about a road at night. He will join us next. It's Wilde Tausch.
We're on the
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Make your fitness goals last with Johnson Fitness and Wellness, the largest specialty fitness retailer in the country with 5 locations across the Milwaukee area. Johnson Fitness and Wellness carries the most diversified lineup of fitness and wellness brands. Their expert staff, white glove delivery, and installation, plus flexible financing help you build your home gym with confidence. For a limited time, save big during their President's Day sale, including free weight plates on select Force USA gyms. Visit one of their stores today or shop online at johnsonfitness.com.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, I mean, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
There's never been a better time to experience Pella in person and get all your questions answered. Join us at the Neary Spring Home Improvement Show, February 13th through the 15th at Wisconsin State Fair Park. Book your in-home consultation at the show and receive a free DesignWorks rendering. Rest easy with Pella's 10-year limited warranty and get 0% interest for up to 48 months. Set your free and-home consultation at PellaWI.com.
The Fall Trade-Up event is happening now at Cunis. With winter on the horizon, trade up now to a new, safe, and reliable vehicle. We'll do whatever it takes to make a deal at nearby Milwaukee Metro Cunis locations in Oak Creek, Greenfield, and the new Cunis Hope Chevrolet on West Metro Auto Mall. We have huge incentives and discounts on the most popular cars, trucks, and SUVs from Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC. Thinking pre-owned? We have over 2,500 in stock with payments for every budget. Plus, check out our service specials on brakes, tires, and oil changes.
I'm Brian Bohm, General Manager of Cunis of Oak Creek.
And I'm Bill Eater, General Manager of Cunis of Greenfield.
We would like to invite you to take advantage of these great monthly specials.
And remember that your vehicle will be covered by our exclusive No Fear lifetime powertrain warranty included with new and qualified pre-owned purchases.
Call or stop in today for your VIP appointment.
Don't miss the Fall Trade-Up event. Start your search online at CunisMilwaukee.com.
Brewers mini ticket plans for the 2026 season are available now with 6-game, 12-game, and build-your-own plan options. You can pick or build the best plan for your schedule, whether you're gearing up for tailgates under the sun, the thrill of the home runs, or the eruptions of walk-off wins. Brewers mini plans have you covered for the 2026 season with specially discounted ticket rates and more exclusive perks in each plan. Check out all the mini plan options available for 2026 now at brewers.com/ticket plans.
Did you know Professional Construction Inc. has an in-house team of interior designers? We're excited to bring our expertise to you with our brand new virtual interior design program. Maybe you're not ready for a full construction project, but you are ready to refresh that outdated room. Our PCI design team creates stunning photorealistic renderings, a mood board, and a curated shopping list, all delivered to you in just days.
For all your construction and design needs,
visit professionalconstructioninc.com.
Disney on Ice presents Frozen and Encanto in one exciting family experience. Sing along with Anna and Elsa in wintry Arendelle. And celebrate the power of love, y familia, with Mirabel and Bruno in the show everyone will be talking about, live in your hometown. Coming to Fiserv Forum February 12th through 16th. Tickets on sale now. Visit DisneyOnIce.com for show details.
Evan Cohen on Wilde Tausch is brought to you by Johnson Fitness and Wellness, the largest specialty fitness retailer in the country. Shop in-store or online at johnsonfitness.com.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
All right, before Stan joins us, because having talked to Stan early in my career at the Badger Herald, he taught me a lot of basketball. Him and Stu Jackson. I don't think maybe it was the earring era. I only remember Barry Alvarez noticing that. But knowing how it is to talk to Stan, I want to get this information out first to make sure that I don't forget, because we get so enthralled with our conversation with him. So we talked about A Road at Night in like May and June, I think. John Roach came on the show. We talked about it. I watched it. It is incredibly powerful. So now it is going to be in Marcus Theaters starting on Thursday, the 12th of this month. And that first screening on the 12th is going to benefit Howard Moore's family, and it's going to include a panel discussion with Jarrell, with Coach Gard, Chris Conger, who is one of Howard's teammates, and our friend Matt LePay as well. If you want to just make a donation, or if you want to get the link to the tickets, all you got to do to get there is either go to the Howard Moore website, where we are trying to support Howard. It's domoore434.com. And then you can also go to aroadatnight.com if you want to go straight to get the tickets ordered for that. But it's such a powerful film. In fact, as we bring in Stan Van Gundy, when I saw it, I got done, and Stan was so phenomenal in it that I texted our friend Brian Anderson. And I said, hey, do you have Stan's number? Because I don't have it anymore from when I covered him when I was a student 30 years ago. And Brian said, I'm sitting right next to him. Now, he never gave me his actual number, which was a little disappointing. But I said, you have to tell Stan how phenomenal he is in this, because of all the powerful interviews that are in it, and there are a ton. Barry Alvarez, Tracy Webster, Michael Finley, Matt LePay, Tom Oates. Stan was unbelievable, and I know his love for Howard and what he has done to support him. And he joins us now. Oh, by the way, he's also the analyst for Amazon Prime NBA coverage. It is Stan Van Gundy on Wilde Tausch. Stan, that may be the longest intro you've ever gotten, but it's great to see you. How you doing?
Well, I'm doing well, and I appreciate the promotion of A Road at Night. And, you know, like you said, it's a great documentary. John Roach did an incredible job putting it together. It's powerful. The Wisconsin basketball fan will absolutely love it. And at the same time, you can go and watch it and know the proceeds are going to help Howard and his family. There's nothing better than that.
Stan, why was it so important for you to be involved in it, having coached him and knowing, I mean, I was friends with Howard in college. I know what his personality is like. Why was it so important, though, for you to not only support him, but to also help tell his story?
Well, look, I think that one of you've seen the documentary, one of Howard's pastors near the end of the documentary, I thought had the line. He said, there's exceptional people, and then there's Howard Moore. And I think that's right, and I think that's what comes across when you watch all the people talk in the documentary. Howard has impacted more people in that Wisconsin program over the last 30 years than anyone, than Dick Bennett, Bo Ryan, Greg Gard. No one has impacted more people in a positive way than Howard Moore has. And, you know, you said you were friends with him in school. Howard had so many friends, but Howard, the depth of which he cared about people. I said in the documentary, I've been around the game at a lot of different levels for a long time. He is the best teammate I have ever seen. And what's really, if this tragedy had happened to anyone else in that group at Wisconsin, the guy we would have all leaned on is Howard Moore. I mean, he's just an amazing person and has done so much for all of us. You know, even when I was coaching in the NBA, if we would hit a tough stretch, I could count on getting a text or a call from Howard. You know, I mean, it's just, that's who he is. He's always there for everybody. And it's such a tragedy. But I think all of us want to be there for he and his family as much as we possibly can.
Yeah, as I said to John Roach, when I'd never done a blurb before, and anybody who's read my work knows that I am not concise or has ever listened to this show. But one of the things that I said was I called Howard a friend, but literally half the campus when we were on campus would have said the same thing about him and actually been able to mean it, which is what made him as special. I will say that it was like the old Sesame Street thing. One of these things were not like the other. One would be Tracy Webster, Michael Finley, Howard Moore, and Jason Wilde together, because I was not nearly as cool in that group, but nevertheless, I appreciated all their friendships. Stan, I am curious because, and I want to go a little further with what you were saying, because I thought Tom Oates has a great line in it. He scored like 99 career points, and no one has had the kind of impact probably on any college basketball program in the history of college basketball while only scoring 99 points. What does that say about, you were there for him as an assistant coach as well, like you know what impact he had on his teammates. I know the impact he had on the crowd when he would go into games. But help us understand what he was like as a teammate that makes you say that he's the greatest teammate you've ever been around.
Okay. Well, first, you know, I think you've got to start, right, with when Howard was there. So the resurgence of Wisconsin basketball program started while Howard was there as a player. And you could hear in there the impact he had on recruiting Michael Finley and Richard Griffith. And those guys and Stu Jackson coming in and the resurgence of the program, getting to the NCAA tournament for the first time in 47 years, the enthusiasm that went with it is what, got the Kohl Center in progress to be built and all of that. So it's where it all started. Then you go through the time where Howard was a coach, and, it talks about it in the documentary where he recruited Frank Kaminsky. I mean, he's touched everyone. And the thing is, when we say touched everyone, it's not just that people knew him and he was there. I think in a lot of cases, and I think this comes across in the documentary, you see Tracy Webster's emotion and Michael Finley and Richard Griffith and all those guys, and then the guys he coached. He wasn't just there with them. He was maybe the guy who made the biggest impact on all of those people. And he came in every day concerned about every other person. Like, what do I need to do for Michael Finley today? Is he down? Do I need to pick him up? Howard would do that. Does somebody else looking a little lazy? Do I have to try to motivate him? Howard would do that. I mean, he was the most empathic person as a teammate I've been around, because his thoughts were never on himself. They were always on other people and what he could do to help those people. Greg Popovich, when he coached the Spurs, he would always say one of the things he wanted is he wanted players who could be happy for other people's success. And that's Howard Moore. And that comes across. Like, a lot of guys would be sitting on the bench saying, I hope that dude screws up because I want to get Chime to play. That's not Howard. Howard reveled in everyone else's success. He's the single most beloved person I've ever been around as a teammate. I mean, I think if you went to a man, every guy down the roster, who's your favorite teammate? Every single guy would have him at the top. And that's no knock on any of those other guys. It was a great group. But every single guy, to a man, would have Howard Moore as his favorite teammate.
Talking with Stan Van Gundy about the film A Road at Night. The screenings at Marcus Theaters begin next Thursday, the 12th. They run through the 19th. Again, you can get tickets at aroadatnight.com, including for Thursday night, which benefits Howard's family and Howard, as he obviously needs that assistance as he goes through his recovery. Stan, the reason I struggle with this film is that I don't want to cry when I watch movies. Like, I want to watch Wedding Crashers and laugh a bunch. And especially knowing Howard and being from that era, it was emotionally exhausting to watch. That doesn't make it any less great of a film. But I do want to ask you about that aspect of it, because you were there, and to your point about him being authentic, the part where I don't remember if it was you or who was saying this, but that he says that we need to pray for the woman that hit them, the driver of the car. I like to think I'm a pretty good person. I'm nowhere near that good of a person to be able to say that. So when you got the news, can you kind of take us through your emotions, because you have been so incredibly supportive of him since, but I can't even imagine what that was like for you.
Yeah, I remember the day. I remember where I was. I was actually in a U-Haul truck driving. My son was moving back to Detroit from Florida, and we were in a U-Haul truck. We were in the mountains in North Carolina at the time, and I see a call on my phone, and it was from Richard Griffith. And, I didn't answer it because we were in area where it was hard to get reception. And I told my son, I'm going to wait until we get into a better area and I'll call him back. But he immediately called me back, and I'm like, this must be important. So we got to the top of this hill, and I had a couple of bars, and he got on the phone and told me, and I think the first thing that hit me was just disbelief. I mean, absolute disbelief, because Richard had an idea how bad it was. And and my son could tell you, I was messed up the rest of the trip. We went straight from there. My son drove me to the hospital at the University of Michigan and dropped me off, and then he proceeded on. But it was amazing, and this was said by people in there. You go in the hospital room, and Howard's trying to take care of everyone else who comes in to visit. Do you have what you need? Do you need water? Do you need something to eat? I mean, and then that part hit me too, what you were talking about, when he was saying, you need to pray for the family of the woman who hit them. Like, I can't even imagine that. I mean, all I would have felt had it been me is anger. And Howard and that's when the pastor said, there's exceptional people, and then there's Howard Moore. And to this day, people come and visit him, and he can't talk, but he gets excited seeing people, and it's uplifting to see Howard. It is always and always has been for the 30 plus years that I've known him. It's always uplifting to see Howard Moore.
Again, you can get tickets on aroadatnight.com. And the screenings are at the Marcus Point Cinema in Madison. So, again, go there to get more information. Stan, I think
they have other events, too. I know I'm going in and doing one on the 14th with Andy Kilbride and Richard Griffith. We're doing a Q&A after, I think, the 5:40 or 5:45 show that night. So, look, I think there's just... And this comes up in the documentary, too. I mean, this guy was beloved not just in Wisconsin, but around college basketball. It was like a who's who coming to the hospital in Michigan when it first happened. And I know the Big Ten coaches, I've been at Howard's house, and there's picture of Matt Painter and his staff coming to visit. I know Tom Izzo and his staff have been involved. I mean, Howard Moore is one of those guys, this, because you knew him on campus. You meet him once, and he's one of those guys you're just impressed with, and you're going to remember forever. And people have come from everywhere to pay respects and everything else. And not just Howard. We want to help his family, his parents, Trennis and Howard Sr., his brother Darnell. I mean, his son Jarrell, just fabulous people, and anything we can do to help them, because they are just loving, giving people who, I mean, his parents both gave up their jobs, moved to Madison, and just taking care of him. Richard Griffith is there at his house virtually every day. I mean, the devotion people have to Howard is because of the devotion Howard had to everyone else in his life.
Stan, you've obviously been incredibly supportive of him, and again, you're right. There, I've got a little more information. We'll share that coming up. Can I ask you one question, and then we do have an NBA question for you, because we can't not have you on the show without that. But how, obviously, I didn't have the same working relation. I was a student, right, for your year as the head coach and your time as an assistant. I always felt like here's a guy that's a pretty damn good basketball coach, and it didn't play out the way it maybe should have for you. How proud of your career are you to have recovered from the way things ended in Madison. You obviously have not allowed, speaking of being a good person like Howard, you have not allowed that to prevent you from being supportive of him, and you're coming back to Madison. But was that a difficult time? And when you look at your career after that, you're pretty proud of the way you came back from it?
Well, actually, what I really feel is how fortunate I was and how lucky I was. What I felt at the time was, I think I was 36 years old, and I thought, wow, I got this great opportunity, and I didn't get the job done, and I got fired. Like, I may never get an opportunity close to that again. So that was my original feeling, a feeling of failure and everything else. But I just decided, hey, I've got to get better, and I've got to get on with my career. And I was very fortunate to get an assistant's job with the Miami Heat the next year. And then that propelled the rest of my NBA career. And I learned a lot at my time at Wisconsin. I'm still in touch with a lot of those guys, Tracy and Mike and Richard and Andy Kilbride and Chris Conger. And, I wouldn't trade those years for anything because those were great people. I saw Stu Jackson and I were at the Sweet 16 in California a year ago. Stu as the NCAA's rep there, and I was doing the games for CBS. Those people were great. I loved it. I learned a lot. I've said, and people think I'm joking, I'm not. There has never been a bigger step up in quality of coaching from one to another when you went from me to Dick Bennett. I mean, look, Dick Bennett, people ask me every once in a while, who's the best coach you've ever seen? And I say, well, there's different levels. The best college coach I've ever seen is Dick Bennett. And that's no knock. Wisconsin's had a slew of great coaches, like Bo Ryan, great coach. Greg Gard, great coach. But Dick Bennett, the best college coach I have ever seen. And you went from me to him, great move for the University of Wisconsin. And it ended up being a great move for me too, because I don't know. What I learned in my time in Miami, I think the NBA fit me maybe a little bit better than college. And my career worked out from there. But I have good memories of Madison and the University of Wisconsin. I do not have great memories of the winters there, guys. I do not. I'm in Florida, and even though it's cold here by our standards, I'm happy to be here right now in February, but great memories of Wisconsin. And Dick Bennett helped me a lot. I swallowed my pride, and I had known Dick a little. He got the job, and I said, you know what? I got Dick Bennett in town in Madison. Before I had gotten my next job, I went and Dick spent, 4 or 5 hours with me, and I learned everything I could. That guy is brilliant.
Stan, what is it about Dick Bennett that would make you say that?
Well, what I look at is just, I think what coaching is, at the end of the day, is at any sport, any level, is maximizing the talent that you have on hand. Whether that's bringing them together to be better as a group than they are individually, whether it's developing players to become better. But it's just, to me, when you look at a group and say, wow, that's a group he was able to maximize. Man, I mean, we were in the same site when we went to the NCAA tournament at Wisconsin. And so we were both out in Utah, and I'm watching Dick's Green Bay team beat a Cal team with Lamont Murray and Jason Kidd. And I'm like, there is no way this should be going on. Absolutely no way. And that's no knock on Cal or on Wisconsin Green Bay's players. But there's no way that should have happened. And then the Wisconsin team that Dick took to the Final Four, all right, I mean, come on. No knock on those players, like I recruited some of them. But just talent-wise, listen, when you watch the NCAA tournament and see Final Four teams, right, they've all got NBA players on it. Those guys are all going to go to the NBA and play. I mean, not all of them, I mean, but everybody's going to have some NBA players. Look, Dick Bennett, I think he really understood the essence of the game. It was all about fundamentals and habits and doing things. Dick wasn't trying to trick anybody. If he were an NBA coach, and I think he would have been a great one, he wouldn't be the guy that was going to try to come up with the best after timeout play to wow somebody. He would just, it was all about, a lot about what people said about Curt Cignetti this year at Indiana with football. It was going to be fundamentals, habits, and they were going to beat you by what they did every single day. And what I remember about his teams more than anything is a very simple thing, but as somebody who prided myself on defense, I've never seen teams close out as technically sound on every closeout as Dick Bennett. High hands every time. I'm like, God. It's such a simple thing, but his teams were great defensively. And I'll give you one more on Dick. So my brother, when he was in the NBA as an assistant with the Knicks, when he's first with the Knicks, he was a combination of being on the bench and going out and doing advanced scouting. And when he would go out to see the Bucks, he would want to watch a practice. He'd go to watch a college practice to learn. So he got in to scout the Bucks. He goes up to see a Green Bay practice. And after practice, he's talking to Dick Bennett. And he said, Coach, your team is always among the lowest turnover teams in the nation. How do you do that? And Jeff was waiting for drills and teaching points and everything else. And Dick said, Jeff, that's simple. Don't play the guys who turn it over. That was it. And I say that in that a lot of Dick's stuff was just so simple. I remember he got asked a question at a coaching clinic in Madison with the high school coaches one year. And he got asked, he said, Coach, this high school coach said, I don't see your teams press and they don't zone. They were very simple, did the same thing night after night. He said, if you don't press, what do you do when you get down by 15 in a game? And he said, honestly, we probably lose. He said, but we don't get down by 15 very often. And he just really had boiled the game down to his essence. A great teacher, a straightforward guy, and one of the best people around. He wrote me a letter once when I was coaching the Pistons that I still have, that was one of the most encouraging letters I've ever seen. He came down from Green Bay about 3 hours early for the Bucks game, and I'll be honest, I don't even think he stayed for the game. And he just came back in the locker room and talked to me. There's no one in the game of basketball that I respect more than Dick Bennett. And I would say it to anybody, if you can make a coaching move like that as a university or as a professional program and take that big a jump, you need to do it.
Stan, it's almost like Dick Bennett should write a book, because there is someone on this panel that has been riding him to write a book about his basketball life. It sounds like you would encourage him and Jason to do that.
Oh, I would love that if Dick would do that, but I know he won't, because here's the thing with Dick Bennett. Dick Bennett never, and I think it's really incredible, especially in the world we live in now, Dick Bennett was never about promoting Dick Bennett. Dick Bennett was all about making a group of players into the best they could be. He was all about the coaching. He wasn't about self-promoting or anything else. So I haven't talked to Coach Bennett in a while. I loved seeing the scene of him hugging Tony after Tony won the national championship, because I know how hard it was for Dick to even watch Tony's games in person, and he rarely did it. And I thought that was just a fabulous moment. But I haven't talked to Dick in a while, but there's no one I respect more, and there's nobody better to learn basketball from than Dick Bennett.
Stan, Mike Kelly just texted me. He said no offense taken on that quip you made about the 2000 Final Four team. So just so you know, he didn't take any offense to that. Last one for me.
Good.
We have to ask you about Giannis and the NBA. And, this thing has been dragging out for a long time. What do you think, like if you were in charge with the Milwaukee Bucks, how would you handle what you're seeing, and what do you think might end up happening with Giannis and the Bucks?
Yeah, I don't have any way of knowing what might happen. But look, I mean, I think that the decision is hard but simple. Like, when do you think you can contend? Can you rebuild this thing around Giannis and become a contender? Which you would have to think your window is the next 3 to 4 years. Can you do that? Can you put enough around him in that time? If so, look, Giannis, one of the greatest players ever to play this game. I think you've got to do that. If you don't think so, then you've got to maximize the return you can get on him and go through a rebuild. I would have a hard time ever trading a Giannis Antetokounmpo. I mean, look, that guy is, not only is he a great player, but what he brings every night in terms of effort and competitiveness, he's incredible. But if you don't think you can put a roster around him, and they don't have one now, that roster, I mean, I think a lot of us said it at the beginning of the year. I think they were more optimistic, but even with the addition of Miles Turner, that roster was not going to be good enough to put it, to go anywhere this year. If you can't do better than that, then yeah, start over.
Stan, I know we kept you way longer than you were scheduled to appear, but this was fantastic, and we are so grateful and appreciative of your time. I got a message from Jay Shell during this, who played for you, and one of the things he said was, Howard Moore, no better person on this earth than Duck, and he's right about that. Although it sounds like Dick Bennett's pretty...
One last plug from me, Jason, just people get out. You'll enjoy the documentary. It is hard. It's emotional. You'll enjoy the documentary, though. It's powerful. Like you said, it's really well done. And even more important, it will support Howard and his family. So, get out and enjoy a night at the movies with the family and celebrate, even though it's a tragedy, celebrate a great man in Howard Moore while supporting he and his family. Appreciate everybody that will turn out for that next week.
And you'll be here for the one on, is it Saturday after that screening, or?
Saturday, yeah. Andy Kilbride, myself, Rashard Griffith. I don't know who else, but I know those two guys are with me that night.
And there are a variety of those type events after several of the screenings. Again, the website is aroadatnight.com. Stan, I don't know why Brian Anderson didn't give me your number, because I'd have been wearing you out. That's why he didn't give me your number, because this was phenomenal.
Well, there's another great guy. I could go on and on about Brian Anderson. I'm actually going to do a college game with Brian, and I took the game just to work with Brian again, because obviously he stayed at TNT. So I'm doing Seton Hall at Xavier on March the 2nd with Brian, just so I can sit next to him again. Again, one of the great, not only a great announcer, which he is, but just a great, great person. I can't wait to see him.
Well, you're not too bad yourself. Stan, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Well, Tausch, you always wanted to put together halls of fame. He has to be in the discussion for our Hall of Fame in terms of guests. That was
good.
Unbelievable.
That was a very informative, and you could tell that he now talks for a living because he's really good.
He's great. I'm okay with being off the clock again. More Wilde and Tausch. Straight ahead. Stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. Whether it's live or in podcast form, you've heard us on air with all of our shenanigans.
Gabe, I'm throwing some. Why are you throwing? I don't want.
Now see your favorite 94.5 ESPN shows streaming on video.
By me, by the way. I hit that microphone like 4 out of 6 times on that.
Subscribe to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and get notified when we hit the air live. Plus, you can watch back any second that you miss and see original digital content too. Watch, listen, interact. ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Mark Tauscher here for Iron Jock. As a former athlete, I've worn just about every type of workout gear there is, and nothing compares to Iron Jock. Their performance apparel is built to fight sweat, odor, and bacteria, keeping you feeling fresh no matter how hard you push. From the gym to the pickleball court, Iron Jock keeps you dry, comfortable, and confident. Upgrade to Iron Jock. Available now at ironjock.com.
We love the Packers. We bleed green and gold. And every time our team takes the field, well, it's pure football bliss. If only there was a way to experience that blissful winning feeling every day. At Associated Bank, we've got you. With 10% off Lambeau concessions and 15% off Pro Shop merch. All when you get Packers checking from Associated Bank. It's how Packers fans keep winning on game day and every day. Associated Bank. Bank of the Packers. Learn more at associatedbank.com/Packers. Member FDIC.
Buying a new roof might not be the most exciting thing you'll do this year, but for us at Big Fish Contracting, being chosen to do that roof for you not only provides income for multiple families in southeastern Wisconsin, but has a global reach and impact around the world. To us, it's more than just a roof. We've been earning trust for over 2 decades, roofing, siding, windows, and more. Go to bigfishcontracting.com to learn how Big Fish is renovating homes and redeeming an industry.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Start your Milwaukee weight loss program now to lose weight fast. Many lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two. Call for your free consultation. 262-235-3980. 262-235-3980 or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Looking for a delicious meal without breaking the bank? Cousin Subs has you covered. Our $10 meal deal gives you a 7.5-inch ham and provolone, turkey breast, or veggie sub piled high with fresh hand-sliced ingredients, crisp veggies, and all your favorite toppings. Add a bag of chips or regular fries, a fountain drink, and a cookie, all for just $10. This deal's available online or through the Cousins app only. And you can enjoy your meal at home, at work, or delivered straight to your door, hot and fresh. Cousin Subs. We believe in better. Available at participating locations. Offer subject to change.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt US Kids, and the Ad Council.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Thanks again to Stan Van Gundy. Again, the website to find out more about the tickets in order to attend some of the screenings that'll be held at the Marcus Theaters in Madison, aroadatnight.com. I want to get back to the Packers, obviously. I know there's a few folks that maybe didn't enjoy that as much as we did. I think you're probably missing some of the points there, if that's how you feel, but be that as it may. We will get back to the Packers coming up. I did think it was interesting, Tausch, from independent of the film and Howard Moore and everything he said about Dick Bennett, which I know he's obviously used that line before about the upgrade of coaches, but that's a pretty passionately strong opinion about another iconic coach in our state, and Dick Bennett, which I enjoyed. But I thought what he said about Giannis. I mean, he's doing NBA games. He seemed a little old school. Like, look, I just wouldn't trade him. I don't think it works that way. But he was also brutally honest about the roster, and it made me think, boy, we kind of tricked ourselves into thinking, oh, well, with these other guys that are out with Achilles tears, that maybe they could be 8 seed or something and sneak into the playoffs. Maybe with a healthy Giannis all season, but it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, I was not in that camp. It just felt like you make that move to get Miles Turner, and you thought I did not think that we would fall to where we're at. I thought we'd be a 6, 7, 8 seed, maybe win a playoff series, and then that be a bounce because there's just not enough scoring and not enough help to make this thing go. And I do think there's a anytime you're dealing in desperation, and it has felt like John Horst has done some things. He has went big. Everything that Packer fans claim they want, John Horst has done. And it has yielded a championship. And it has yielded a lot of mortgaging the future. And you know what? Those bills are coming due. Yeah. And those bills are going to be painful when it's potentially the number 1 overall pick. And then maybe next year, Portland or somebody else will have the number 1 overall pick because of pick swaps. And that is what John Horst thought he needed. And we have had a great run. But it's been probably a year. We're already a year out from when we've had legitimate opportunities, and those times have passed. So I see what Stan is saying, and you don't want, just like Ted Thompson had a really hard time actually trading Brett Favre, you don't want to be that guy. And especially if Giannis goes on and wins wherever you trade him to, that's going to be a very painful pill to swallow. But I think we're at that point. And I recognized it that dreary, cold Wednesday night against the Oklahoma City Thunder.
When Mason Crosby missed that field goal. All right, we're going to shift gears in the 10 o'clock hour back to the Packers. They officially announced that Jonathan Gannon is the new defensive coordinator, in case you haven't heard. Goody will speak tomorrow at 12:30, right after our show ends, so I am open
nice that
to.
He planned it out around that.
I appreciate that. Yeah,
from him.
I'm sure he did that for me because we don't dislike each other. I'm just more critical of him than some other people might be on occasion. But I am eager.
Yeah, big off season ahead of him. Well, big off season ahead of him.
I would love to discuss that further during the 10 o'clock hour. I'm also not that I'm necessarily going to ask all the questions that are suggested, but I am open to suggestions. I'm not too proud to take ideas from other people that they suggest, so you can share those via the Carbless Talk and text
I have
line.
a little idea. Do you have a read you have to get to, or can I tease this out here?
I do.
Okay, get to it. All right.
Well, what better time to tell you about Behind the Bucks than right now on the Bucks Plus Audio Network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. You can listen to Behind the Bucks on a variety of platforms, including on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get your podcasts. Behind the Bucks, presented by Gallagher. All right, Teasy McTeaserson, do you still want to tease us out?
I do. I would like for all three of us and then our fans to rank the three biggest issues Brian Gutekunst will have to address in this offseason. I have mine. I can't wait to hear yours. We'll do that next.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
There's never been a better time to experience Pella in person and get all your questions answered. Join us at the Neri Spring Home Improvement Show, February 13th through the 15th at Wisconsin State Fair Park. Book your in-home consultation at the show and receive a free DesignWorks rendering. Rest easy with Pella's 10-year limited warranty and get 0% interest for up to 48 months. Set your free in-home consultation at PellaWI.com.
Two hearts are interlinked,
intertwined,
permanently connected like two links in a chain. The perfect symbol of a lifetime commitment.
One of the hearts is silver white.
The other is silver pink. And each of the hearts is inlaid with tiny little diamonds that glitter like stars on a clear winter night.
The interlinked hearts are hanging on to each other as they dangle on the end of a chain.
Another perfect symbol of having a life partner.
It's not only the perfect symbol of a lifetime commitment, it's an incredibly beautiful diamond pendant.
Just $238.
The Kissing Hearts Diamond Pendant is part of the Kissing Hearts collection at Kessler's.
Even though it's just $238, it's still one of the most expensive things in the collection.
I'm buying the two-tone Kissing Hearts cross.
The mother and child is spellbinding.
There's a Kissing Hearts ring.
Kissing Hearts earrings.
And 19 other Kissing Hearts pendants.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
To find the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. Well, you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
Hey, this is Jen Latta. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde Tausch begins now. And you want to recap your tease, old big teaser?
So in honor of Goody speaking, which we appreciate that. I know everybody in Packerland will appreciate hearing from their general manager. Been a while since he's talked, right?
August 28th.
It's been that long?
When they traded
the Micah Parsons trade is the last time he had a microphone?
Yeah. Look, is that allowed? Is that's frowned upon or is that not the GM don't have to talk all year? Is that
he's supposed to talk at minimum? And again, don't get me started on owned by the fans, owned by the community, different bar for expectation on your engagement with your fan base. You are required to speak once during the season. Now, I don't know if they thought that since training camp was over on August 28th, if that was a loophole and counted as having been during the season, but that is the last time we spoke to him.
Okay. Well, I want, obviously, to help you do your job with getting questions and having our fans be able to get that to you. In honor of that, and for tomorrow, I want us, the three of us and our fans, to address what we believe are the three biggest issues on Brian Gutekunst's newly signed contract desk that he has to address from now until minicamp starts.
Okay.
That's what I would like to do.
All right, so do you want to do a count up, like 3, 2, 1? Do you want to give all of our because I think we're going to have a lot of similarities on our lists.
I do. I think we will.
Do you want to do yours first since this is your idea?
No, So what I'd like to do is let's all put our top one out there and see if they're all aligned or if there's something different, because mine will not be aligned with yours. I feel very confident that mine is going to be different than what your guys' will be.
Okay. I'll go first.
Okay.
My number one, I like to work up to number one when we do this sort of thing,
Well,
but nevertheless.
Go three. I'll go one.
No.
Doesn't matter.
So that's fine. I think 2 and 3 might be the same for everybody on the panel, but we'll see. Number one for me is you have to get the offensive line right. And you have chosen to only extend one of the members of that line. In Zach Tom, you are, it would appear, going to allow 2 others from that 2022 draft class to walk. You are, it would appear, going to move on from Elton Jenkins, who you appear to have miscast as a center. You signed a big dollar, big ticket item in Aaron Banks, who did not give you the ROI that you were hoping for. You have to decide whether that will change, or with him being 28 years old and moving closer and closer to being the age that you don't want guys on your team, you have to figure out what you want to do there with his $9 million roster bonus due the third day of the league year. And the guy that you drafted in the first round, who has been bounced around everywhere and not played particularly well on a consistent basis, Jordan Morgan, will now be your franchise left tackle, and we're going to find out if he's any good or not. Other than that, though, everything's pretty much set on the offensive line. Oh, by the way, Zach Tom is coming off of patellar tendon surgery, which is also not ideal. So you don't have a whole lot of anything other than that you like Anthony Belton. You don't really know where you like him, but you like him. So that's where the offensive line stands. For me, that is number one, especially given how important it is to run the ball effectively and protect your quarterback.
I think that is going to be on everybody's list. And as far as questions you ask him, I do think did you decide to go bigger with your O-lineman, and do you view that with the way that you've talked about, well, not him, but Matt LaFleur has talked about the O-line, is there going to be a change in how you judge and draft and bring people in to go back to the more athletic, getting up on the second level? Or, that is one of the, I think, very interesting question marks. I had the O-line at number 2. I think that's obviously going to be the biggest, from a unit standpoint. That group, you have to figure out what you're doing. And I saw someone, and I like citing people on Twitter when they put it out there. I just don't remember who put it out.
Hardly ever.
A couple of your biggest question marks are, what are you going to do with guys that you signed to big deals last year? What are you doing with Hobbs and Banks? How are you going to approach that? Because it can be a big old cap hit if you're going to keep Banksy and if you're going to keep Hobbs. And are they good enough to warrant what you're doing? Are you going to rework their deal? Or how? Normally you would think, all right, we're going to get 2 years and we feel great about it. That's the Russ Ball method. I don't think anybody feels great about it. I would be shocked if Banks isn't back at left guard. Mm-hmm. And I don't know about Hobbs. His money isn't as large.
Correct.
But those are questions. I really would love, and I think the biggest issue that Goody has in front of him, we have got to get better on special teams, and I want him, not just because this is the guy I think he should draft, I want him putting his draft capital into getting that group better. And whether it's going to be my guy Weegin from Iowa, I want them to address and say we're done with this mixing and matching. I want a returner, and I want him now. That needs to be, and that is at the top of my list as far as what this team needs, because I've said it once, I'll say it 100 times. The Seattle Seahawks are playing in this Super Bowl because their special teams and defense scored points and gave their offense short fields. And in the biggest game of the year, which wasn't the NFC Championship game, it was the 16-point comeback. They returned a punt for a touchdown that swung the game, got a coach fired, and ended up getting him home field that got him to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you're right.
Those little things, when you have a team that everybody feels is good, because the Green Bay Packers, after this Super Bowl's done, the Green Bay Packers will be one of the top 3 favorites to get there next year. What are you going to do to differentiate yourself? Because you're going to run it back with Bisaccia, it looks like. You need to say, I recognize we haven't been good enough here, and I am stopping that now. We're done with that stereotype. I want them going big on a return guy. Even though the league is not a Johnny Punt, I want us to say we are going to invest here because this unit can't continually be 28 to 32, and we're going to overcome that instead of being a big contributor to our championship run, a la the Seattle Seahawks. That is at the top of my list.
Even ahead of the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
That means you're taking it seriously for sure. I don't know if
it's because obviously it's more important on the whole because there's so much uncertainty. But you get what you emphasize in this business. They tried to emphasize it by paying Rich Bisaccia the most amount of money.
Takeaways.
And it didn't. It just hasn't worked. They're going to keep him, it looks like. So you need to make a big move and a splash to get that unit where at least we can have the feeling we're not going to fumble and a guy's not going to get concussed on every punt return.
Yeah.
I would like that move to set a tone that we're going to be a heck of a lot better, and we're not going to just sit there and be comfortable with a 25th to 32nd ranked special teams unit.
Yeah. Jesse, what's your number one? And then we'll talk about our 2s and 3s after the break.
My number one is the offensive line for the reasons that you said. There is one that's similar to Tausch's special teams that I have at number 2 that I will tell you about in a little bit. But I think offensive line, being able to run the football effectively, being able to pass protect for Jordan Love, a lot of what the offense will be capable of doing, scoring more than 27 points in a game to win, will come down to the offensive line's ability to get its job done up front. And we didn't see enough of that this year.
All right, we will talk about our other issues, and we'll get into some more questions for Goody, who will speak with reporters tomorrow at 12:30. But first, I got to tell you about Associated Bank. You know how much I love this line. I know it's nice that Tausch gives me credit for it. I didn't come up with it. I wish I had, because it's really good. It's not branches that make a bank local. It's roots. I love the double entendre of branches. So good. And it's Associated Bank. Whether it's great customer service or Packers, Badgers, or Brewers checking, it's all good with Associated Bank. And it's great when it comes to their customer service. They offer everything that you want in a local bank that has your back on everything. So go to AssociatedBank.com to find out more. More Wilde and Tausch next. So stick around.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. And sponsored by American Family Insurance. All day, every day. The Carbless talk and text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless talk and text line. This is more. Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Mark Tauscher here, and these days I am sleeping better than ever. I am so thankful I met with the great team at Advent to help solve my sleeping problems. The Advent team is so great to work with, and their consultations are very informative. The Advent team listened to my struggles, and rather than forcing a surgery, they helped me find the best solution for a better night's sleep. My family and I are so thankful the solutions from Advent worked. To see how they can help you with snoring, sleep apnea, and nasal breathing problems, go to adventknows.com, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Brewers mini ticket plans for the 2026 season are available now with 6-game, 12-game, and build-your-own plan options. You can pick or build the best plan for your schedule, whether you're gearing up for tailgates under the sun, the thrill of the home runs, or the eruptions of walk-off wins. Brewers mini plans have you covered for the 2026 season with specially discounted ticket rates and more exclusive perks in each plan. Check out all the mini plan options available for 2026 now at brewers.com/ticket plans.
February means big savings at Exterior Pros and Baths. Upgrade your home with energy-efficient windows, durable roofing, new siding, or a beautiful bath makeover and get $3,000 off your project. That's $3,000 in instant savings, but only for a limited time during our February winter savings event. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com now. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
Selling your home during winter may surprise you. Serious buyers are still out there and often more eager to move.
Homes get strong offers this time of year, and with less competition, your listing can really shine.
I'm Tony Wendorf with Tony Wendorf & Associates, powered by Keller Williams.
And I'm Lindsay Bendler. Our team leads with faith, gratitude, and giving back, donating over $200,000 to local causes since 2020.
Tony Wendorf & Associates is ready to get to work for you with our white glove selling experience. Just search online, Tony Wendorf.
A real estate team that always leads with faith and gratitude.
Tony Wendorf & Associates.
At Citizens Bank, we believe banking is more than transactions. It's about being recognized and remembered. It's feeling like you're understood and supported along the way. It's the small stuff that says, we know you. Because when your bank gets you, banking just feels better. Citizens Bank. Bank where you belong. Learn more at citizensbankwi.bank/belong. Citizens Bank is member FDIC.
Looking up at the Marquette banners, brought to you by Saganiac Planning. Dwayne Wade's number 3 retired in 2007, 4 years after he played. Number 24, retired George Thompson, said it before every Wade game. I wonder what he's going to do today. D-Wade, Microwade, Tidal Wade, never disappointed, which is why Thompson said to him after Wade's triple-double against Kentucky took Marquette to the Final Four, Dwayne, you're the best to ever play at Marquette for what you've done and what you will do. Number 3 will never be worn again. For your little ones and your biggest joys, for your forever true and your fur kids too. For all the reasons you smile, get covered with dental and vision insurance from Delta Dental of Wisconsin and Delta Vision. Support your overall health so you can be your best for those who matter to you most. Call John Saganiac Jr., John Saganiac Jr., Saganiac Planning, 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
I'm intrigued now because I thought my list was an obvious list. I thought maybe there would be a little bit of controversy about putting offensive line first ahead of the other two positions that I think are need.
There is no doubt. We all watched this season and looked at kind of how it went, and it was jumbled, and it was, never really consistent with the 5 guys that you wanted. There was injuries. It was training camp missing stuff, and Elton being a little unhappy, and then he got hurt, and then Sean Ryan getting moved in, and they didn't know what to do with Jordan Morgan, and Zach Tom battling injuries all season, and unsteady play from your big free agent pickup, who I think by the end of the year played a little bit better. Mm-hmm. But then you're putting a rookie in there who's a big old road grader, and how does he do in pass protection? And, really that second half of the Bears game, the guys didn't hold up against a group that wasn't a great pass rushing unit. Mm-hmm. So, there was a big shift in how Goody looked at the group after that Philly game, lost in the playoffs last year. I'm sure there's more to be said and done here. Mm-hmm. But I think with all of the things I mentioned yesterday about the compensatory picks and the fact Cheeto is going to get a big deal somewhere else, Sean Ryan is kind of that unknown to me. I don't know what his market will be. I would think he'd be getting something like a Runyon deal, $8 to $10 million a year. Mm-hmm. And are the Packers up for going with Monk or someone different, or do they feel comfortable bringing Sean Ryan? Because I think Sean Ryan he's a hard-nosed player. I don't know where he's best suited, but
also a fair question.
I don't think you want to just reboot everything. We saw that last year in certain aspects, and it didn't work. So Goody's got a big issue of who to keep, who's ready to replace, and who can play at a high level, because this isn't going to be, let's ease into things, and, let's do this. And no, that ain't how this is going to go. When we talked, I would be shocked if Brian Gutekunst, for as much as he was doubling down on urgency at last year's season ender, it's got to be urgent on top of urgent on top of urgent with how this last season played out.
So that was one of the we'll get to questions in a second. For me, the other two are as obvious as the nose on your face. It's corner and the defensive line, especially the interior defensive line. For me, what are the other two on your list? Because we spent a lot of time talking about those two. I think we're all aware of it. I don't think you have to be some sort of football. You don't have to be a ball knower like yourself to understand that those two are problem areas. What else is on your list?
Yeah, the interior defensive line. I think there's a lot of questions about the edge. I think Rashawn Gary, unless he redoes his deal and takes less, I don't think he's going to be back. Then it comes down to what are you going to do with Kingsley. But this needs to be a Lucas Van Ness summer. Like we thought he'd pop last year. He did show some signs, but then he hurt his foot in the Vikings game and just never really was able to get into it. But that player opposite Micah Parsons needs to be disruptive. We didn't have that last year. But the interior part of the D-line, and I thought we noticed it first in the Cowboys game when Devontae got hurt, he has, for as much as we give Christian Watson a lot of grief about not being able to stay healthy and do things, Devontae Wyatt's in that same boat.
You're right.
He's going to want a big, fat new deal. Goody's going to have to either say, let's play out this option, or let's be proactive. We think he is the guy, or we need to bring somebody in. And I would bet that you'll bring in some lower-paid veteran types because, to me, if I'm Brian Gutekunst, I'm looking back and I'm saying, I don't know what happened in this Baltimore game, but it cannot happen again because that was embarrassing. And I don't know what the answer is. So the interior part of the D-line, you traded Kenny Clark, and by the way, Kenny Clark would have been gone after this year.
Yep, you're exactly right.
I have no problem. Anyone that wants to fight about trading for Micah Parsons, you're not a ball knower, and I'm not interested in that conversation. That is the deal of a deal, and we're not going to have a first-round pick. Hey, deal with it. We got Micah Blank and Parsons. Now, he needs to come back healthy and hopefully soon. Now it's up to you to figure out how do we get everything else on that interior part. Are you counting on Brinson to elevate himself and Stackhouse? You can count on that, but I wouldn't put all my eggs in that basket. Carl Brooks, he has been a flash guy. He's shown flashes, but I haven't seen the consistency that I'd like from him. I think he is a quick-twitched, a really good football player, but you got to see it. So that unit, you need competition. You need to push. That group needs to be better and more impactful because when you have guys holding and double-teaming Micah all day, the rest of that unit wasn't good enough for long enough, and it was exposed to a certain extent when Micah got hurt.
So, and what is your third item before we get Jesse's?
No, O-line was 2. I told you that. O-line is obviously, right. And I think the reason I wanted to highlight punt returner / special teams is I think we have to look at this, and I just hope Brian Gutekunst, you want to hear everybody saying it's not good enough. Well, then we got to do something. It ain't good enough just to say, well, we'll get better. Oh, we'll do this. We're not going to change coaches. We're not going to change scheme. We're not doing. So when you have a guy like that, and by the way, kicking game, better bring some competition in. Old boy ain't getting any younger, and he had a bad year last year. Period. Fin.
That's why they kept Havlicek around. Yep.
I don't know if I'm
not sure I'm sold on him either, but clearly they, and I don't know if that messed with his head or not, but they kept him on the practice squad then for the rest of the year because they wanted to have him in the mix next year.
He should have kept kicking and not let a guy with a pulled quad go out there and kick. That's
also true.
Whatever. That whole thing is irritating to, I think, a lot of us. But you want to get an injection of enthusiasm and an injection of, oh, God, we just remember when Keyshawn was returning kicks?
Yeah.
There was baby. The Miami Dolphin Christmas game, the Minnesota Vikings touchdown. Yeah. Those things build confidence for the rest of your unit. When you have a guy back there that is wearing one of those big old helmets and you're worried he's going to get concussed every time if he does catch it, I mean, he's catching it over his head. You're just hanging on for dear life. I want somebody back there that's going to be like, we're taking this blank to the house every time. Whether or not that happens don't matter. And you're not going to draft Devin Hester. But you're certainly not going to if you don't even try. So let's get an injection of some enthusiasm, and maybe that will, if we can get to 15, I'm not even asking to be top 10. Can we be average? Because average might be good enough, and the jump it'll be, you will have people rejoicing if you can get that spot fixed. Because it was bad this last year.
And you drafted 2 wide receivers and decided to make them both return guys without them ever having been return guys. Like, Matthew Golden had never returned a punt before. And guess what? It looked like it.
Yeah.
Like, never even in high school. And the next Cordero Patterson, Savion Williams, the last time he returned a kickoff was as a freshman at TCU. So you might need somebody who's actually done it if you want them to be better at it. Jesse, before we move to questions, did we take up the 2 items that were remaining on your list as well?
So I have number 1, offensive line. Number 2, how to create turnovers. So to me, that incorporates special teams and defense in all capacities for the emphasis on
14
for the emphasis on turnovers coming into the season. That just didn't happen. So Goody working with Matt LaFleur or Jonathan Gannon or whoever he needs to talk to on what do we need this offseason that's going to help us create more turnovers and therefore flip the game more in our favor. And then number 3 for me is offensive identity. Offensive identity. Working with Matt LaFleur, and if it's Adam Stenavich, I assume it will be at this point as offensive coordinator to figure out, is this a running team that's going to run the ball to open up
I don't
the
think
throw?
that's Goody's. You think it's Goody's job to say this is going to be your offensive identity?
I think it's up to Goody to work with Matt LaFleur for the goal to be the same there and shared so that Matt LaFleur could say, hey, I want to run the ball more effectively. That's what I want the identity of this offense. Fine, I'll go get you an offensive lineman or I'll get you another running back.
We tried that last year. It didn't work.
Well, although you do find yourself wondering how much they are, and maybe that's part of the questions, which we should get to next, is they always say they're on the same page and they communicate a lot and everything else. But now that you've re-upped, in what ways do you need to improve your connectivity from personnel department to coaching staff?
Well, they went down and had cocktails down at
yeah, they did.
Weekly Lodge Kohler meeting. Yeah,
I feel like
I don't know from watching the last 2 seasons. I don't know what we can say the Packers are great at on offense. Like, I think they're good in a lot of ways. But I don't think there's anything that is a true, like, this is what the Green Bay Packers do on offense. And that's what I think would help to be established this offseason. so that you can, like, we now know Micah Parsons is, we can rush the passer when he's healthy and on the field.
At least he can.
That's the identity of the defense, and everything is built around that theoretically for the next couple of years. We can rush the passer effectively, get him to third down. We're going to be in good shape. That's how I felt watching the first 2.5 months of the season. On offense,
they got Micah Parsons, and their sack numbers went down, though. That's what's really crazy.
There were pressures. There were
for sure.
It felt good when the other team's offense was on third down and 7 or more. Offensively, I don't know what I felt great about watching all season long. I think Jordan Love's good. I think Josh Jacobs is above average. I think the receiver, like Christian Watson, looked good. Tucker Kraft looks good. Is Tucker Kraft the identity of the offense? If so, I don't know. That's what I think needs to be figured out this offseason.
All right, the next thing we're gonna do is, I guess, sort of take requests. I'm not gonna guarantee that I'm gonna ask your questions, but I am curious what they would be, because and Tausch hinted at the one that's been kind of top of mind for me, as I've been thinking about it ever since yesterday's press release came out. We'll talk about that and get some of your feedback next. It's Wilde Tausch.
Wilde Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is teeing up the third tournament of the season with another can't-miss event. And 1,000 in cash prizes up for grabs. Hey, ESPN Milwaukee, this is Gary Olson, inviting you to a two-man scramble at the iconic TPC Scottsdale, all played on Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center's spacious, state-of-the-art simulator. Sign up now at wisconsindoorgolfcenter.com. It's just $120 per team, and teams must get their round in by February 28th. Your chance to take on TPC Scottsdale starts today at wisconsindoorgolfcenter.com.
$2.3 million. A recent Schwab survey of Americans says that it takes $2.3 million to be wealthy. Well, you may have had your financial plan set on a bigger or a more humble number. But if you're looking for added insights on how to get there or how to avoid some tax pitfalls on the way, Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen. Mark Tauscher here, and whether your situation is complex or simple, the Annex Wealth Management team can give you wealth expertise and guidance on reaching your goals. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference.
40,000 people. Let that number sink in for a second. That's not a crowd. That's a small city. But they chose relief without surgery. 40,000 people who said stop before replacing their knee or hip. There has to be another way. And they found that at QC Kinetics. Hey, it's Brad Nortman. It's those 40,000 patients who thought that they were out of options and surgery was the only answer. But today, they're moving better, hurting less, and getting their lives back thanks to QC Kinetics and their advanced regenerative treatments. The truth is, surgery isn't always the answer. QC Kinetics and Dr. Ashley Caravelli is right here in Milwaukee, using safe, natural treatments backed by real science. Treatments that activate your body's natural healing powers. Safe, natural, and non-surgical. And this is critical. The sooner you start, the faster the inflammation will ease. So it's important to get started now. 40,000 people can't be wrong. Before you say yes to surgery, call QC Kinetics for your free consultation. Call now at 414-240-2298. That's 414-240-2298. 414-240-2298.
UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org.
With your UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, I'm Will Summers. This week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week is Altoona Junior Grayson Becker. One game after joining the 1,000-point club, Becker delivered another eye-opening opening performance, pouring in 44 points in a win over Ellsworth. He finished the night 14 of 19 from the field and added 8 rebounds, continuing a stretch of play that has defined his standout season. Becker has been one of the most productive scorers in the state, averaging 26.3 points per game, along with 3.5 rebounds and 3.3 assists. With growing Division I and Division II interest, Becker continues to raise the bar as his junior season rolls on. Congratulations to Grayson Becker, your UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
Hey, this is Jason Wilde from Wilde Tausch. Valentine's Day is almost here, and Racine Danish Kringles has you covered with their heart-shaped Kringle. You know my family loves Kringle from Racine Danish Kringles, and sometimes they share it with me. Racine Danish Kringles offers a heart-shaped Kringle with pink icing and raspberry, chocolate silk, cherry, and pecan flavors to send to your loved one. Order at Kringle.com or call 800-4DANISH. Racine Danish Kringles, the official pastry of ESPN Wisconsin. It's not just a treat, it's a tradition.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Porters, for the first time since the season ended, and frankly, for the first time since the trade to acquire Micah Parsons. Now, I want it to be a question that would actually be usable, but I want to go back to the urgency quote. That's kind of where I'm leaning. I'm sure I'm not the only one thinking that way, too. But you said it, urgency on top of urgency on top of urgency.
Triple urge.
You talked about the importance of urgency. Did you feel like you guys exhibited that and you didn't get the results you were hoping for, so now what in terms of how you get to where you want to go? Because did you think that you exhibited the urgency? Look, I criticized Goody for not having – he basically was for thee, not me when it came to urgency, and then he traded for Micah Parsons. Yeah, and then that argument was null and void because that was urgency. Now, unfortunately, Micah Parsons tore his ACL, and so did Tucker Kraft. But I do think, Tausch, that they believe, all of them, including Ed Policy, which is why they're all back, that those guys stay healthy and they're playing in the NFC Championship game with a chance to go to the Super Bowl. I really think they believe that.
They do. Obviously they do, or they don't run this back like they did. And we'll find out if that's accurate. I also am in that camp, but like we always say, injuries and all this stuff, excuses don't work in the NFL. It's about results.
Yeah, that's true.
And if you can keep your guys healthy, you need to cash in on those years because it is tough to do. We've seen it with all these teams. Seattle, I don't know what their injury rate is, but it's pretty low. I know they had Charlemagne or whatever the running back's name was.
Zach Charbonnet.
He got hurt, but he lasted all the way to the playoffs. And so you're going to have injuries. You got to deal with it. Unfortunately for Green Bay, you're talking about 2 or 3 of your best players, highest paid, unavailable to play for you. It's not as easy as overcoming that. So I think they love the construction of their team. I think they love their quarterback. I think they love having a closer on defense. I think they love their safeties. Now we got to get better at other areas. And our coaches need to get more out of these other players. It can't have these big drop-offs when you lose guys, and that's a hard thing to do. So Mr. Policy looked at it and thought this is the way to go. We think we're tracking the right way. Now, I just hope that you make sure when you're doing that, if you're not, don't be afraid to reverse course, because what you don't want to do is continue on a path that's not, because I think most Packer fans now are looking at it and saying, okay, great. It will be a low seed playoff team, and we'll get knocked out in the first round. Rinse, lather, repeat. That is, unfortunately, what the last 2 seasons have shown us. And Packer fans are looking at it, what is going to be different? Well, I think Goody and everybody will argue, Micah, Tucker, Jordan, year better, healthy. we're going to be in a better spot. That will remain to be seen, but that is indeed what the thought process is over there.
Jesse, what do you want me to ask?
I just got a call off air that's actually, I think, a great question. Greg called this in. He said he couldn't stay on, but he wanted you to ask this. I think this is a good one.
Okay.
What does Goody think of how often the Packers go for it on fourth down, and does that impact any personnel decisions?
He's not going to touch that.
Why?
No, he won't.
Because it's questioning coaching.
Well,
he'll say something to the effect of, "Hey, that's the trend in the league, and if you feel good about the numbers, you're going to go for it. I don't think we're any different than any other team."
All right.
So I mean, I don't.
My question
didn't mean,
sucks. Then never mind.
I didn't mean. No, that's not what I understand the question.
It's about getting an answer, Jesse. How many times has Jason said this? It's not about, I'm going to be really clever and cute and ask this really hard-hitting question. Oh, and then all of the people watching me on Packers.com will say, oh, Jason's really tough.
Yeah,
Jason's not tough.
No,
Jason's more interested in trying to, how can I coax like a little mule to come over and get the feed. Oh, come on over here, little mule. You can get this great corn.
Why did you go
else,
mule
and then
there?
maybe we'll eat this.
I got all these cats in the house, dogs.
Because sometimes you're
a mule.
Because sometimes you can be a J-Wag.
I see where you're going.
I don't think you can say that online. I don't think you can say that. But that's where we're at. And the interesting part, I think the urgency thing, because one of the things administrative people and higher-ups, and this is where the old great Timmy Russert was the best.
Uh-huh.
Use their old quotes because you can't run from them.
Yep, love it.
So when someone gives you a great little soundbite that is, and it maybe isn't, it's more future forward, use that.
Uh-huh.
And when you do, it's really hard to run from it because I literally said it. And old Timmy Russert would fire that bad boy up on the screen. This is going to do tomorrow.
All right. Well, Greg, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That came out harsher than I would have liked. But he's not going to answer that. I did answer it honestly. But if you dare, if you're ready to put yourself out there with your question for Brian Gutekunst,
watch out. He'll tell you it sucks if it sucks.
I never said it sucks.
Well, but people want that. I think one of the things you guys and this, again, I'm not trying to be like whatever, but in the sports world, I don't want people telling me it's all sunshine and seashells. Like when something sucks, just say, yeah, it sucks. And yeah, it'll sting for a second, but then you'll move forward. Like, if you're out selling or you're doing something, I'd much rather have someone just say, nah, we don't love your product, we're not doing it. Rather than drag me on and say, I don't know what we're going to do. Oh, we'll get back to you in 6 months. Just shoot straight with me. Let me know what you're thinking, and we can either adjust and make it work or just take it. The last thing you want to do is, well, that's interesting, and then blah. And it's not interesting.
844-770-3776 is the Carbless Talk and Text line. You know what doesn't suck? Having been to it, the Pickler. It's awesome.
It is indeed. We had the 1-year anniversary up in Green Bay on Saturday, and the Pickler Menominee Falls right off Appleton Avenue. It is a great indoor pickleball spot. Weather is not an excuse. It's been a tough month. January, February's not great either. It is built for everybody, beginners, former athletes, anyone that just wants to get out and move. They're offering free learn-to-play clinics every Monday and Saturday at noon. No experience. You don't need gear. They will teach you everything you want. You're going to get a great workout. You're going to meet people. And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Everybody goes in there, especially if you're new. You're going to go in there. You don't know what is expected. Oh, I don't know. I'm not even going to get a sweat. Oh, I'm going to promise you're going to get a sweat. You're going to end up saying, I can't believe I got this many steps in if you got one of those odometers on. And then you're going to end up looking at it, you're going to say, this was blanking fun. I can't wait to get back. You're going to get hooked. You can't, and then you're going to end up getting a bunch of new friends. You're going to have a great community. And you're going to say, I can't wait to get back to the Pickler again. Well, great news. If you live over on the other side of town, West Allis is coming open soon. You can use the Menominee, you can use Green Bay, you can use every pickler across the country when you sign up. Stop in at the Pickler Menominee Falls. Contact the club directly. Starting online at thepickler.com for more details. That's PICKLR.com.
More of your questions for Goody next. It's Wilde Tausch.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Truth Nation, mark your calendars for Friday, February 20th, as we will be hosting our second annual Truth Community Awards, hosted by the legendary Home Blow and Bailey Cohen. Tickets are on sale now. Visit 1017truthawards.com to learn more. The Truth Community Awards are sponsored by Milwaukee College Prep, the Milwaukee Bucks, Gruber, Steinhoffel, Cousin Subs, and 3rd Street Market Hall. Come celebrate with us on Friday, February 20th at the Truth Community Awards from 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. Do not miss out on the best community awards event of the year.
My husband's an animal in bed.
Well, you know.
Not in the fun way. Think warthog. With a chainsaw.
Snoring and sleep apnea affect over 90 million people, and 1 out of 4 couples sleep in separate rooms. Advent can help. We've been Milwaukee's one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care under one roof. Advent's unique approach can help you breathe and sleep better, and many avoid a CPAP. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
Hey, the only animal you want in your bed is your dog.
Advent. Sleep better. Sleep together. Learn how you can improve your life at adventknows.com.
We need to optimize the PID controller for smoother robotic movements.
Our data analysis shows a significant correlation between the variables in both control groups.
The test shows you've experienced an acute myocardial infarction.
As you'll see on the syllabus, this course will largely focus on the Mesozoic era.
Get your child the access every child deserves. Enroll your K through 8th grade child by February 28 at Milwaukee College Prep, mkeprep.com/enroll.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Chris Canty.
I just think that when it comes to the level of criticism, the level of scrutiny, I know that a lot of people in the media and in fan bases across the National Football League don't like to blame Josh Allen for the shortcomings of the Buffalo Bills. That now all has to change. Similar to what we saw last year with the Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow, how the conversation shifted after Burrow made all of these demands, wanted all his guys paid, and the Bengals acquiesced to that. This all changes now when it comes to how we grade Josh Allen moving forward. If he doesn't get to the Super Bowl, it's no longer about the Bills organization letting Josh Allen down. It's about Josh Allen letting everybody else down because of all of the power and control that they have ceded to him. Joe Brady himself referred to Josh Allen yesterday, and he called him the leader of the organization. Damn it, it's on Josh Allen now, nobody else.
For 100 days, I'm going to cross the 7 continents because the answers to everything important are out there at the edges of our world. I'm stepping into the unknown. Where are we going? To see our planet
This is amazing!
as it's never been seen before. From pole to pole.
Pole to Pole with Will Smith from National Geographic. Now streaming on Disney Plus and Hulu.
Show me the way.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
let's get to a couple of your calls. I'll try not to be overly harsh. Jesse, you really are into the AI-generated graphics, aren't you?
You like these? They're pretty cool, huh?
Bring back Smokey the Bear.
Well, yeah, we got him around here somewhere. Who else we got?
That doesn't even look like LaFleur. Hey, that's not AI though, isn't that our guy Greg?
My buddy Jason, he's the sheriff. Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
Let's get to a couple calls that are not AI generated. Let's start with Patrick in Monona. Patrick, I'll try not to dump on your question. What do you got for us?
Hey, so I remember the 1.6 draft picks re-signed a little bit different. I remember that as the league average. I'm curious what Goody wants as what happens in Green Bay, and then similarly, how many third contracts he wants on the roster at any given time.
Great question, and that is what he said. He did say that was the league average. I do think that is a departure. If you're aiming for the league average, that is a departure from what Ron Wolf and Ted Thompson thought. Wouldn't you agree, Patrick?
Yeah, and also, like, being league average is not the goal in Green Bay, so do we, like, what is the goal?
Yeah, and I, Tausch, this is really good. Patrick, that's great, and thanks for holding on so you could get that question because it's a really good one.
Yeah, great question, Patrick. Yeah.
It was. It legitimately was.
Way better than mine.
Well, wait a minute. I thought it was Greg's that was yours. Did you make? Was Greg a fictional character?
Greg and I.
And you just didn't want to say that it was your question, so you blamed Greg.
Greg and I were kind of a team. We were. I was interested in that too. I'm fascinated by the fourth down stuff.
Yeah. Tausch, like you mentioned John Runyon earlier in the show. Mm-hmm. Back in the Ted Thompson and Ron Wolf eras, he would have gotten an extension.
He would have.
While he was still on his rookie contract. And it would have been
probably earlier, and it would have been less than $10 million.
Right.
And I think Russ and the Packers have kind of looked at things in a little different way. They're open to paying premium guys premium dollars. Mm-hmm. And I think outside of that, they're very skeptical of paying guys that they view as average players more than average money, and if they aren't willing to do anything a little bit earlier, they start planning to move along without them on younger guys with – it's almost as if it's more of a boom or bust. You're going boom with the Jordan Loves, and you're going to do that with Tucker. You're doing that, obviously, Micah Parsons. When you go into the free agency pool like Goody has, and you're signing guys first day, you're paying boom prices. And when you do that, that forces you to go a little bit younger, whereas I don't know how John Runyon has played in New York. I'm guessing he's been very steady. I would bet that he's steady, just like Josh Myers was steady. Everybody got after him, but even Brian Bulaga, who was one of his bigger critics 2 years ago, thought last year he played pretty well. Mm-hmm. And by the way, I think we would have taken Josh Myers' play this last season at center over what we got, because it wasn't very good. And then especially at the end of the game when we had, I don't even remember, the lefty out there snapping it and balls flying around. You couldn't get a Hail Mary off at the end. And so sometimes you have to, not every player is going to be an all-pro. Sometimes steady is good. And I do wonder if maybe we've gotten away from that on those second contracts with guys that are like Sean Ryan will be a great case study.
Yep, great example
of where Goody's head's at. You know, he's not a first-round pick. He's somebody that took a while to develop. I think he's turned into being a nice player. He's not going to be an all-pro, but I think he could be somebody that is very serviceable. And in a league where there's so many injuries, sometimes good doesn't need to be the enemy of great.
Good line. Mike and Kendall's our next call. I want to get him at the start of the 11 o'clock hour because I want to ask you a quick follow-up to that. Because I think Goody feels like there's just a lot of guys that are just good and replaceable with somebody else who's just good. And so why pay those guys? And I understand it. I don't think it's completely misguided. Don't get me wrong. I don't think everybody should get an extension. But is there a drawback to basically play a guy? I mean, it's almost a college program. I mean, the old college version where you couldn't stay for 6 years, where you use guys up and then they graduate and then you got a new class coming in. Like, it feels like maybe his idea is more, look, I don't want guys that are seventh-year seniors on my team unless they're really, truly special. I'd rather just keep turning over and churning the roster. Do there need to be a few more? You've always said, if you make exceptions, before you know it, you got a team full of exceptions. But do there need to be a few more exceptions than maybe they've had?
Here's one of the things that I think people, and I've seen this both in college and in the pros, there is something to be said. The buy-in you get from rookies and from players that are part of your program, and the business side of football hadn't slapped them in the face yet. And when you can keep a couple of guys, and it can't be everybody. I'm not saying Goody should be signing every draft pick to extensions. But there is something to be said for guys that get drafted by you, know your system, know your locker room, and are good players. And if you pay a little bit more, somebody else, it's not like the Giants didn't think Runyon was worth some money. And again, I don't know how he's played. He's not an all-pro or a pro bowler.
Right.
But he must not be terrible or they wouldn't have cut him. And there's something to be said about there is more buy-in from guys when you're with that original team, or if you're from the state and you go to that school and you're there is more, it means more. And I do think when you bring guys in from other places and they aren't stars, it feels more mercurial. And I don't want that to be it is a big part of sports. I get that. But what I am going to say is it can be blunted a little bit. And I think blunting that sharp edge makes going around those corners a lot better. And when times are tough, I want those cats in the foxhole with me that want to be there because they love the program and they've been here and they know what you're all about. And I do think when you don't re-sign a lot of those guys, you lose a little bit of that.
In fairness to Brian Gutekunst on John Runyon. Now, again, what do we always say about Pro Football Focus? It's not the gospel. He was graded as the 67th highest graded guard in the NFL out of a possible 81 who were graded. So that's not good.
So let me ask you this, though. Yeah, I won't even argue. I'm not going to get into the Pro Football Focus. Runyon is I would say, probably an average to below average starter. That's what those numbers would tell you.
Yeah.
But what I'm asking you is, you don't go out and pay Aaron Banks $20 million or $28 million in guarantees.
Yep.
If Runyon is a serviceable starter.
Yep.
You let the young guys come in, and so I get it, and I want you chasing perfection. But I'm telling you, you ain't going to get 53 perfect guys on a roster. You're not going to get 22. You're not going to get 11 on each side. So sometimes having a good, steady player is worth its weight in gold because you're not paying in gold.
You're right.
And with today's market, according to our friends at Annex, gold and silver, baby, that stuff is flying high.
All right, we will kick off the 11 o'clock hour with a few more of your suggested questions. There's a few in the YouTube comments as well. We'll get to all that in the 11 o'clock hour, which starts in 2 minutes. So stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Big news from Carbless. A fan favorite, and one of my favorites, Blood Orange flavor is now its own dedicated 4-pack. Crafted with real spirits for a true cocktail taste. Blood Orange brings bold, citrus-forward flavor with a smooth, premium finish. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, only 100 calories, and gluten-free. Now it's even easier to stock up on the flavor everyone keeps asking for. Look for Carbless Blood Orange 4-pack at your local retailer now. Once you try it, you'll understand why Blood Orange has earned its own pack. Carbless, bold flavor in every sip. Find it near you at drinkcarbless.com.
Hey Tom, I want a new hoop for the kids. Any ideas?
Yeah, I got mine from Precision Sports over 10 years ago. They helped me choose the right hoop, installed it, and even painted my court lines.
Nice. How do I reach them?
Easy. PrecisionSportsOnline.com for a free quote.
We all experience daily struggles, and with so many concerns to be conscious of, breathing should not be one of them. Mark Tauscher here for Advent, and if you're like me and have had snoring issues, sinus problems, or difficulty breathing, then you'll want to meet the team at Advent. The team of Advent specialists have a few simple steps to help evaluate your individual limitations and get you back to breathing well. Since Advent addressed my snoring and nasal breathing issues, I feel great. I've never slept better, and my wife Sarah is incredibly appreciative. The team of Advent specialists listened to my struggles, found the best solution for me, and customized it to my needs. Take my word for it and go to adventknows.com to learn more about simple solutions to snoring, sleep apnea, and nasal breathing problems. And schedule your appointment today, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Start your Milwaukee weight loss program now to lose weight fast. Many lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two. Call for your free consultation. 262-235-3980. 262-235-3980 or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde Tausch begins now.
Jason, I gotta say, I just saw this on Twitter. I don't know if this story is accurate. I hope it is, because it is blanking awesome. And of everybody that is associated with the University of Wisconsin in the last 30 years, who would be least likely that you would think would be shattering glass backboards in high school basketball?
Do you want me?
Turnover chain blank and blank.
I get alerts when you tweet because I figure they're important because they don't happen very often. So yeah. I would be cheating if I answered the question, but nevertheless.
I just don't know if I have been more surprised.
Chocolate
I got this
Thunder, Paul Christ.
I just got this from one of our buddies over at the football department, and then I saw it on Twitter, and I didn't even read it the first time because we're doing the show and whatnot.
Sure, yeah.
And then I saw it again, and I'm thinking to myself, is this true? Because if it is, it's phenomenal. And I think it is.
So Paul Christ tried to dunk on a tip-in and shattered a backboard at Richland Center, which that's a tough place to break a backboard. I don't know what the date is on this. Obviously, it was before he played for the Badgers. 1984, 42 years ago today, Platteville High School senior Paul Christ broke the backboard on a dunk at Richland Center High School. Broken glass showered the floor, delaying the game for an hour and a half while a new backboard was installed. They apparently called him Vanilla Thunder. Vanilla Thunder,
How
my
funny
blank
is
and
that?
blank. I wonder if he still has the same number. We should call him and celebrate
I'm
the
texting him
42nd
right now to see.
anniversary of this.
I told him we won't talk any football. I just want him to talk about this. I'm going to see if he'll get back to me.
In the meantime, while we wait for Vanilla Thunder, Paul Christ, to get back to us, let's take another call on questions for Goody. Let's talk to Mike and Kendall. Mike, thanks for holding on, buddy. What do you got for me?
Geez, you sure make it tough to follow something like the
It is totally unfair to you, no doubt about it.
All right. So my question, do you have your eye on specific impact players? Do you believe we have the resources to land more than one without compromising other positions?
It's a good question.
Go boo in a bar.
I don't know what the answer will be, right? Because the issue here is he's going to give us, and again, it doesn't mean he can't ask it, but I would predict, Tausch, that question gets, we can make things work. We've got the resources. We can do whatever we need to do. He's always going to say that, whether it's fully true or not. It does lead me to an interesting question, though, that I've been thinking about. Do they have enough stars? Like the NBA is a star-driven league. Is the NFL a star-driven league? Or do you at least need to have more stars than what they have? Like, who are their stars? Micah Parsons?
You talking about Green Bay?
Yeah, Green Bay.
Green Bay's got 4 stars, in my opinion, right now. And if Zach Tom is healthy, I think he is. I think in order to be considered a star, you have to be first or second team All-Pro. I don't think I put Jordan Love as, that guy yet. I think he's hovering up in the galaxy.
Okay.
And I think he's got a chance, and I love having him as our quarterback. But yes, Micah Parsons, star. Tucker Kraft, star. Old boy back in Xavier McKinney, I do believe, is a star.
Yep.
People could say he's not. And then I'm going to split. I think it's a shooting star that sometimes is up in that galaxy, up with the other stars, and sometimes is not. And it's a mix between an Edgerrin Cooper, Christian Watson, little galaxy star. I don't think they're in the same stratosphere as those 3. I think Micah's way up. Tucker's right behind him.
Yeah.
If you're talking about like the Milky Way or whatever that whole deal is.
Sure.
That's how I would look
Orion's
at it.
belt.
Yeah.
All right. So how do you get more? Because you can't be trying to sign them and then hope they become stars like Xavier McKinney did. Like, again, I don't know what John Harbaugh's power structure is with the Giants. I'm still trying to figure out how Joe Shane kept his job. Like, if Brian Daboll
I told you yesterday.
Yes, you did. You did. And that's because they sit with the owner and chat him up and whisper sweet nothings.
No, it's their relationship is stronger than the coach.
Yeah,
that's why.
They're closer. Right. Because among the many things he did wrong, he let Xavier McKinney out of his building, a very young
let me tell you
player.
something. The moment they signed Harbaugh and Harbaugh got all that, he's going to be a deucelage after the draft. I'd be shocked if he's the GM heading into the next season.
I would tend to agree. So how do you get stars? You have to draft and develop them and then re-sign them because they're so good that you don't want to let them get out the door, right?
Or you poach them from idiotic teams that don't know it.
Yeah. And
Those are your
that's
two
what they did with Xavier McKinney. And
unfortunately, 2 of our 3 stars, we didn't draft and develop.
Nope. Not great for being a draft and develop operation.
I do wonder how Goody would grade himself as far as his draft and develop, because part of that drafting, you don't want to be in at 1.4, whatever contracts get done.
Uh-huh.
That should be an indictment on you as a GM. If that's all you get, that ain't good enough.
And that was my point.
I don't want to have 8 or 9 draft picks, and I'm only signing 1 and maybe some change. That means I'm not drafting guys. I'm not drafting good enough players that I myself have drafted. I don't feel good enough giving them a second deal. That should be. It used to be that was a badge of honor, and you were rewarding guys in your locker room.
Right.
And I think you can't get away from that. That's important. And I do think there's been a little bit of that, and I do wonder if maybe that, along with the lack of big-time centers, the center position needs to be addressed. I think Sean Ryan has a better chance of staying here, especially if his value isn't looked at in the market. I think Sean Ryan's got a shot at staying here. Maybe it's a smaller, shorter deal.
Yeah.
But I would be very hesitant to let him walk out the door unless I have a much better plan, because if it's Jacob Monk, or if it's, what's the lefty's name that came in?
Lacita Smith.
If it's Smith, I don't know. If it's Evan Dietrich Smith, I don't know what Smith. But I'm saying I wouldn't just bank on all this working. I would have an insurance plan in place too.
The 2022 draft class, again, Quay Walker, Devontae Wyatt, Christian Watson, Sean Ryan, Romeo Dobbs, Zach Tom, Kingsley Enagbare, Tariq Carpenter, he's gone, Jonathan Ford, who came back at the end of the year, Rasheed Walker, and Samari Toure. Devontae Wyatt is under contract for 2026 on the fifth-year option. Christian Watson is under contract for 2026 on that one-year extension he signed. Zach Tom is under contract, having been signed to that extension during training camp or at the start of training camp. So that's a lot of people that have played a lot of snaps that it would appear that a lot of whom will be walking out the door. If the approach is what we expect it to be. So that I'm intrigued by that.
No, I just want to make sure I'm prefacing this because I'm a big preface guy.
You're the big preface.
It's the year of the preface so far. A month into this new season of Wilde Tausch, it's a prefacing type of year. I don't want to overpay for guys that get to the open market and they're not at that level. I don't want to pay Sean Ryan top center money.
No, nor should
I'm not interested in that. Now, I would have liked him to have been proactive, and if you think he's going to be your center the next 2 or 3 years, sign him in November, December, but that's not the route that this front office goes with, and I'm okay with that.
And look, again, I understand Pro Football Focus is not the end-all, be-all. He was 31st out of 40 graded centers. So, to your point, you're not signing him. It's like that line that Brad Pitt has to David Justice character in Moneyball. I'm not signing you for the player that you were. I'm signing you for the player you are now. Well, Sean Ryan is a decent NFL player, but he's not Tyler Lindenbaum, your guy from Iowa and from Baltimore. But if you want that guy, you have to pay him, and you're going to have to pay him a pretty penny. And by the way, it's worth pointing out, and I don't know if this is an indictment on the coaching, I don't know what this is, but the Jets signed Josh Myers to a peanuts-type deal, and then they extended him. So let's be honest. I understand it's the Jets.
I don't want to take any intel from what the New York Jets are doing. Like I literally would pick the opposite of everything that they do. Literally everything. They also, they paid Alan Lazard $11 million a year.
It's true. It's true. This was a different GM than the one that had the leverage conversation. Okay, fair enough.
Matter.
Okay. All right, we need to get to trivia. Jesse, what do we got for a category today, and what caller would you like?
Imagine 16 years they haven't made the playoffs when you have seven teams get in for a chunk of this era, and you haven't even sniffed the playoffs in 15 years?
Yeah, you're wow. I understand. I guess I wish he hadn't gone to the Jets, because if it had been another team that signed him to an extension, it would have at least gotten you to say, yeah, well, maybe he's not as bad, and maybe he didn't get the proper coaching or whatever it might have been. But you're right, the Jets undercut everything. Jesse, what's today's category? What caller you want?
Badgers Trivia Tuesday. 18 teams in the Big Ten. Let's do caller 18.
Caller 18, get your fingers warmed up for when Tausch does the Iron Jock contest coming up later.
Oh, boy.
Caller 18 right now, 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. Caller 18 will play trivia. We will play our Iron Jock contest after trivia. So, Tausch, start thinking about your number of numbers for which caller you would like. We will play trivia next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. He sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself.
For many military veteran caregivers, their caregiving journey starts earlier in life and lasts longer. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Valentine's Day is almost here, and Cousin Subs has the perfect sweet treat. Our limited-time chocolate strawberry shake mixes rich chocolate and sweet strawberry flavor into one creamy, indulgent sip. Share it on a date, or enjoy it just for you. But hurry, it's only available through February 15th. Order in store, online, or in the app today. Cousin Subs, we believe in better.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, I mean, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Want your brand to turn heads and win hearts?
Captivate Exhibits can bring your brand to life by transforming lobbies, creating history walls, and beautifying facilities.
For over 32 years, Captivate has been the MVP of trade show exhibits and workplace design and fabrication. Let Captivate craft immersive branded environments that tell your story boldly, beautifully, and with purpose at events and around the office.
Score big by making your next event or your own space unforgettable. Create something legendary by getting started today at CaptivateExhibits.com.
In 1987, the Bucks took on the world and changed basketball forever.
At stake, basketball supremacy in the United States.
Bucks versus the World, narrated by Charlie Behrens, is the new season of Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. It's the untold story of the 1987 McDonald's Open, when the Bucks became the first NBA team to face the Soviet Union. Listen now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Life's better with Drive My Way from American Family Insurance, because we know it's more than just a car. It's your escape pod, your adventure mobile, your memory maker. And we help protect the dreams that drive you. Personalize what you pay for auto insurance and you could save between 10 and 35%. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on the way you purchase insurance and by state. Unsafe driving behaviors may increase your rate. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
The Superb Owl Squares contest is back, and it's a total game changer. Listen to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy all weekend. Get your squares during the show, presented by Professional Construction, Inc. One lucky winner takes home a virtual interior design service valued at $500. Perfect if your space appears to be in a rebuilding year and not championship caliber. Call an audible and let the pros draw up the winning play. Learn more at ProfessionalConstructionInc.com. Listen to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy for Superb Owl Squares this week on 94.5 94.5 ESPN. You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
We'll get to Whoa Nelly coming up after this, but first, and of course the Iron Jock contest, so be sure you have your dialing fingers ready. But first it's time for trivia presented by Iron Jock and Cousin Subs.
Wilde Tausch Trivia is brought to you by Iron Jock, performance apparel that actually performs. No stink, just performance, and proudly Wisconsin built. Shop now at ironjock.com. And by Cousin Subs. Hot, melty Reuben meets a cool, minty shake at Cousin Subs. It's the craveable combo you didn't know you needed. Try a Reuben and mint shake for a limited time at Cousin Subs.
Tausch, this guy is not a former 80s catcher, but do you know who Jim Varney is?
No. Should I?
The classic American film Ernest Goes to Camp. And he used to say, "Hey, Vern!" Well, I'm going to say, "Hey, Vern," to our contestants. It is Vern in Waterloo. Vern, do you remember Jim Varney?
I do not know.
Okay. Well, hey, Vern. Welcome to the show. I may be alone in my Ernest Goes to Camp fandom. This is Badgers Trivia Tuesday. Question number 1 is not about Paul Chris shattering a backboard. Is he joining us or is he not available?
No response yet. So okay. We'll see. Sure.
We're still waiting. All right, Vern. Question 1 is this. 4 current and 2 former Badgers athletes will be competing at the 2026 Winter Olympics representing Team USA in which sport? Is it women's hockey, bobsled, or a bunch of offensive linemen doing ski jumping?
The women's hockey, A.
Yeah. Ski jumping, huh, Jesse?
Yeah, a bunch of offensive linemen going off the big slope. You wouldn't watch that?
I'd watch them in a bobsled, though. That'd be interesting. One of those big, like the whole 5-team luge. All right, question 2, Vern, is this.
You know, if the NFL was smart with the Olympics coming up, they would have done some Olympic games part of the Pro Bowl.
You know, I don't understand why people don't reach out to you more.
Well.
Yeah, they should.
They should. I'm not saying that facetiously.
I'm not arguing.
Yeah, nor should you.
Figure skating.
Vern, question 2. Wisconsin
speed
women's
skating. You don't think it'd be funny to see some speed skating? Absolutely.
Pretty good.
Flag speed skating. Question 2, Vern. Wisconsin women's basketball plays a home game tomorrow night at the Kohl Center on National Girls and Women in Sports Day. It's the same Big Ten opponent also next on the schedule for the Wisconsin men's basketball team. Which opponent is it? Is it Iowa, Illinois, or Indiana? Well done. A jump in. I love a good jump in.
Well, we're wasting time here. Tausch keeps interrupting. We're wasting some time. I want to make sure we get the ball.
Vern's right.
Oh, snap.
Vern's right.
Vern more cognizant of the clock than the hosts. All right, Vern, question 3.
Very, very frustrating.
The 2026 Wisconsin football schedule was released last week. After opening with Notre Dame at Lambeau Field on Labor Day weekend, which opponent do the Badgers host in the first home game at Camp Randall Stadium in 2026? Is it Northern Illinois, Eastern Illinois, or Western Illinois?
Did we lose Vern?
Well, I hear the sound of the whooshing highway.
Hello, Vern. Are you there?
Hey, Vern!
I am here.
Right.
Yes, I am here.
Did you hear the question?
Yes, I heard the question.
Did you have an answer?
Yes, it is Eastern Illinois.
Talking about wasting time.
I was going to say, Vern getting after me about interrupting. Could have used some interrupting right there.
The correct answer is Western Illinois, at least according to Jesse. I'll have to fact check that. Also, is it true that it is a Notre Dame home game at Lambeau Field?
Yes.
That's what they've been saying in the tour when they go by.
Because it was a Wisconsin home game at Soldier Field when they played in whatever year that was, 21?
Well, that's just weird. Vern, I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's on Sunday night of Labor Day week, though. Why on a Sunday?
Sunday Night Football, NBC.
Prime time, baby. NBC is why it's on Sunday.
Big time.
Probably. Only on Peacock, probably.
One would think.
Well, that's why I don't do home games, then, probably.
Vern, you got 2 out of 3, which ain't bad. That means you got 3 of the possible 4 entries in the drawing. We appreciate you, buddy, and thanks for keeping an eye on the clock for us. Thanks.
You bet. Love you guys.
I love you guys.
That is Wilde and Tausch Trivia, presented by Cousin Subs and by Iron Jock. And Iron Jock's going to give something away again. And I see the look on his face. Now that I've got a direct line to stare directly into his eyes with this camera angle, I see a mischievous look. I know, we're aware. We'll get it fixed for tomorrow. Just call Sarah.
Will we?
Probably not.
New year, new goals, and Iron Jock is here to help you stick to them, whether you're hitting the gym, headed to work, or just trying to smell a whole lot better in 2026. Iron Jock gear has you covered. Right now, ESPN listeners take 30% off all Iron Jock gear on orders over $75. Just use that promo code ESPN30 at checkout. Again, ESPN30 is the promo code. Look good, smell great, start the year strong with Iron Jock. And right now is your chance to win an Iron Jock hat. Caller number 99 will win that Iron Jock hat. Caller 99. Gretzky. Got a lot of hockey going on in the next couple weeks, so I'm on Gretzky, the great one.
Caller 99.
844-770-3776.
All right, caller 99, 844-770-3776 wins from Iron Jock. You win with Whoa Nelly. That's next. It's Wilde Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
For the big game this year, upgrade what's in your cooler. Meet Carbless, handcrafted premium cocktails in a can made with real spirits and big, bold flavor. Zero sugar, zero carbs, only 100 calories, and gluten-free. Carbless delivers bartender quality cocktails that are easy to enjoy from kickoff to the final play. Perfect for watch parties, game day spreads, or packed living rooms. When the food is hot and the game is loud, crack open a cold Carbless. Stock up on flavors like black raspberry, lemon lime, and pineapple before game day. Carbless, full of flavor, ready for kickoff.
There's never been a better time to experience Pella in person and get all your questions answered. Join us at the Neary Spring Home Improvement Show, February 13th through the 15th at Wisconsin State Fair Park. Book your in-home consultation at the show and receive a free Design Works rendering. Rest easy with Pella's 10-year limited warranty and get 0% interest for up to 48 months. Set your free in-home consultation at PellaWI.com.
My husband's an animal in bed.
Well, you know.
Not in the fun way. Think warthog. With a chainsaw.
Snoring and sleep apnea affect over 90 million people, and 1 out of 4 couples sleep in separate rooms. Advent can help. We've been Milwaukee's one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care under one roof. Advent's unique approach can help you breathe and sleep better, and many avoid a CPAP. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
Hey, the only animal you want in your bed is your dog.
Advent. Sleep better. Sleep together. Learn how you can improve your life at AdventKnows.com.
Why DIY your frozen pizza toppings when Screamin' Sicilian already went over the top for you? We're talking whole milk mozzarella, heaps of premium meats, a mountain of veggies. Screamin' Sicilian is frozen pizza stacked, no add-ons needed. Mamma mia! Screamin' Sicilian, so loaded with toppings, it's almost cheating. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer section and taste what all the screamin' is about.
Brewers mini ticket plans for the 2026 season are available now with 6-game, 12-game, and build-your-own plan options. You can pick or build the best plan for your schedule, whether you're gearing up for tailgates under the sun, the thrill of the home runs, or the eruptions of walk-off wins. Brewers mini plans have you covered for the 2026 season with specially discounted ticket rates and more exclusive perks in each plan. Check out all the mini plan options available for 2026 now at brewers.com/ticket plans.
At Associated Bank, we know running a business is tough enough, so our business is making your business banking easy. That's why we make sure it speaks your language. Business and consumer-linked accounts? How about all your banking all in one place with one login account? $50 overdraft grace zone? Think of it as a I never said I was a CFO grace zone. And maintenance fee-free account? Well, free is always good. At Associated Bank, we get you. That's why we've got you. Learn more at associatedbank.com/YouGotThis. Member FDIC.
February means big savings at Exterior Pros and Baths. Upgrade your home with energy-efficient windows, durable roofing, new siding, or a beautiful bath makeover and get $3,000 off your project. That's $3,000 in instant savings, but only for a limited time during our February winter savings event. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com now. Exterior Pros and Baths. Big savings done right.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Jesse, did you pull it off? Did you get yourself a winner?
Greg in Rubicon is our big winner.
Oh, I wonder
today.
if he ever crosses the Rubicon. But he's never heard that one before.
That's a good one.
I don't know where that is. Do you know where Rubicon is?
I don't know. Don't want to be on the other side of it.
Is it near Wapaka?
I'll look that up while Jesse plays Whoa Nelly.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa Nelly
on Wilde Tausch.
It is in Dodge County, Jesse.
Oh, I've seen a sign for Rubicon before.
Population 2005.
Did it open up your mind?
A little. That's not bad.
Yeah.
I saw the sign. And it apparently did not open up his mind because he didn't know where the town of Rubicon was. Now, does that allow you to now have a better idea?
Yes. Never gonna give you up.
Whoa Nelly!
Wait,
is that the next? That's the next lyric of that. I saw the sign that opened up my sign. Never gonna give you up.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you were going a little Rick Astley there.
Yeah.
We'll check in with Jim Gutekunst. He is the chairman of the Town of Rubicon Town Board.
All right.
Whoa Nelly!
Normally, Evan Cohen joins us on Tuesdays at 9:30. He joined us yesterday this week.
He's going to the Super Bowl.
It was also convenient for Stan Van Gundy to be able to join us today, so it all worked out in the end. Evan did say something interesting on Unsportsmanlike yesterday that we did not address with him. And it's related to the Vikings GM being fired over the weekend. and a certain Green Bay Packers future Hall of Famer. Here's what Evans said.
Jordy Nelson?
On Unsportsmanlike.
I think Aaron Rodgers' Vikings is now on the table. If you're telling me that their now previous GM was one of the reasons that Aaron Rodgers is not there, the idea of Aaron Rodgers finishing his career in Minnesota does not have that same kind of good guy versus bad guy. Like, Aaron Rodgers finishes his career with Pittsburgh and Mike McCarthy, he becomes the good guy. Aaron Rodgers goes to Minnesota. If it's now on the table, he becomes the bad guy. Is he willing to do that again?
Back on the table. Oh, Jason's left.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, okay. Back on the table for Aaron Rodgers to go to Minnesota to play one final season and become a villain again. Do you believe it?
I think the only way that would work is if Rodgers retires and then something's up with Minnesota and they're decent and Kevin O'Connell calls him. Because I do think that the hiring of Mike McCarthy, and now it turns out Scotty Tolzien passed on that job and is staying in New Orleans, so he's not going to be the OC in Pittsburgh. I think it's going to be really difficult for him to say, I'm going to go back and play, but I'm not playing for you. Now, if Pittsburgh goes ahead and moves forward and, Aaron is thinking about retiring and doesn't come back, and then a Phillip Rivers type situation comes, I think that's doable. But I do think if Aaron does decide he wants to play next season, I think it'll be in Pittsburgh.
I agree with Tausch. I also texted our buddy Scotty Tolzien and wished him luck on his interview. Interesting that he chose to stay. That's I think working with Kellen Moore is probably very good for his career too. And do you think he'll be a head coach someday? Those backup quarterbacks, man.
It's a good question. I'm always curious when guys decide not to make that jump. I like when people don't just jump at the first opportunity that they get. So in this case, I think Scotty obviously smart. Mike wanted to interview him. Didn't seem like that was the right fit, and I think he obviously was brought on with Kellen Moore as the OC down at Dallas, so there's some affinity there. And they're building that young team. There's probably a little less pressure down there, too. So this gives him a chance to build his resume up a little bit, whereas in Pittsburgh he wasn't going to be calling the plays. I get it. I get it for Scotty.
Yeah, I would agree. It would have been interesting for him to be Aaron Rodgers' position coach, though.
Bevel did with Farvey, so we've seen that movie before.
Yep. All right, that is it for Whoa Nelly. Tausch, you need to tell us about Prize Picks.
I do. The big game. Oh, the big game is almost here. There's no better way to cash in during the big game than with Prize Picks, where it always feels good to be right. Prize Picks is the easiest way to play daily fantasy. Build your lineup in under 60 seconds, pick more or less on at least 2-player projections, and watch the game with even more excitement. Drake May, 0.5 yards. I'm going more. I know we'll be doing our Prize Picks on Friday. Yeah, I'm not going to. He's got a shoulder.
That could be.
Got a shoulder.
Little drama.
That would hurt if he doesn't go more. But there's some other stuff that I'm very intrigued by. I'm going to try a 3-piece this week with my Prize Picks. You can go 2. You can play it safe. But make sure you download the Prize Picks app today and use that code WI. You get $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. Again, that's code WI to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, you got a free square. You got a freebie on the big game weekend. It's a fun way. If you haven't jumped in, you've been thinking, it sounds so fun, but I don't know. You get $50 in lineups after you play your first 5, and you get a free square with Drake May, 0.5 yards. Now is the time. Use that code WI again. Prize Picks, it is good
to be right. We'll wrap things up next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. The The Homer Hour with special guests every day from 5 to 6.
The Packers also got a defensive coordinator.
I like the hire. I think he's proven. He's coached high-level defenses, ones that went to the Super Bowl.
The best 60 minutes of your day happens on the Homer Hour.
It'll be interesting to see what he brings from a schematic standpoint. Ran a lot of 3 down. This team just got rebuilt to be a 4-down team.
Weekday afternoons from 5 to 6 on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Mark Tauscher here for Iron Jock. As a former athlete, I've worn just about every type of workout gear there is, and nothing compares to Iron Jock. Their performance apparel is built to fight sweat, odor, and bacteria, keeping you feeling fresh no matter how hard you push. From the gym to the pickleball court, Iron Jock keeps you dry, comfortable, and confident. Upgrade to Iron Jock. Available now at ironjock.com.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious crash? It's free. Yes, free. As in it won't cost you anything to speak with us. Not sure if you have a case? Call our team at Gruber Law Offices today. Your first call and your first consultation are always free. And you'll never pay us a fee until we win your case. If you've been seriously injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Disney on Ice presents Frozen and Encanto in one exciting family experience. Sing along with Anna and Elsa in wintry Arendelle. And celebrate the power of love, y familia, with Mirabel and Bruno in the show everyone will be talking about, live in your hometown. Coming to Fiserv Forum February 12th through 16th. Tickets on sale now. Visit DisneyOnIce.com for show details.
Looking up at the Marquette banners, brought to you by Saganiac Planning. Number 20, Maurice Lucas, retired in 2006. Lucas at Marquette only 2 years, but he was so good. 74 NCAA championship game against NC State, 40 minutes, 21 points, 13 rebounds. In the semi-win over Kansas, 18 points, 14 rebounds, and 4 blocks. Also, that game-winning shot in a win over Wisconsin that created the legendary post-game photo of the father of 2 Badger players very upset with Al McGuire. For your fellow fanatics and your number 1 fans, for your game day compatriots and your personal cheerleaders, for all the reasons you smile, get covered with dental and vision insurance from Delta Dental of Wisconsin and Delta Vision. Support your overall health so you can be your best for those who matter to you most. Call Eric Pearson. Eric Pearson, Saganiac Planning, 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service.
If you're trying to get through your daily activities and you're noticing you can't because you're focusing more on your pain than being able to enjoy the moment, those are the patients that we're looking to treat because we can make a difference.
That's Dr. Ashley Caravelli, a medical director for QC Kinetics.
What we're doing at QC Kinetics is offering treatments that help with joint preservation. We use cutting-edge technology in our in-house lab to harness your body's natural healing powers and target the areas where you need them the most.
These are regenerative, non-surgical treatments, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader, delivering lasting relief to tens of thousands of patients.
What we do know is that the sooner we start treatment, the sooner you'll see relief.
So don't wait another minute. See if you're a good candidate for these non-surgical treatments for joint pain. The consultation is completely free.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-240-2298. That's 414-240-2298. 414-240-2298.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
I always love it when our most loyal listeners drop a callback on us. So Sam in Kenosha via the Wilde Tausch Twitter feed. A little disappointed that no one's list of off-season priorities included signing an all-pro like Zach Vaughn.
For $2 million a year. Yeah.
Would have been nice to have this year.
If
well, Jason thought old boy was. He thought
Nate
Simmons
Hobbs,
was the guy.
Very physical. No,
you thought Isaiah Simmons was going to be this year's Bond, and then he didn't make the team.
I did, and he didn't even make the team. But he could have been. They took a shot.
Oh yeah, he could have been. Yep.
But he wasn't.
Well, we'll find one this year. Goody being the Gootinator, he'll find one.
Sure. Yeah, I'm fascinated. We got to get into this more tomorrow before I go talk to him. I don't want to say he's lost you, but some of the luster of your stand-up has come off the...
No, it's dipped a bunch. It's dipped.
Interesting. That's it for us today. Thanks to Stan Van Gundy. If you missed that interview, my buddy JB texted me. He watched it back late because he missed the start of it. He said it was phenomenal, and he couldn't be more right. Stan was amazing. Again, aroadatnight.com is the website to find out more about the Howard Moore documentary. Thanks for coming along for the ride with us today. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on the ESPN Wisconsin app.
The UW Credit Union